nothing to.
We don't need to be banned. We just want to do it in a slow and sweet way.
You don't miss so much. Like I said, I had it for 10 years. I didn't enjoy it, but I had carried my cross that I'm married, I'm not going to cheat. If you say put your hand here, voila, don't about it, abide the next thing.
Yeah, thank you. So what about me?
That's the thing. And if I'm telling you once or twice, you're not trying to please me, it becomes even boring. What's the point? Every second I have to be telling you put to. It's boring when men think that they're the only ones that cheat because they are bored. Sex with a lot of you can't be boring.
Odo, please let me ask this question. Was it like that when you guys were courting?
Oh yeah, it was like that. But we didn't have sex often, and that's why I said I can't go into any relationship anymore. If we are cutting and the sex game is whack, it's enough grounds for me to break up now. I'm not going to do it again. Do you understand? Some women can manage. If it's not a big deal, if you have a low libido, it's fine. I'm not going to
compromise like that anymore. Why I'm saying all this is I discovered that whenever you're cutting or you're just starting your relationship, I think your sexual life will be on the high side. You understand? But when it gets to a point about probably whenever you guys are married, about 10, 15 years, with what I'm saying, with things that I see, I think it's kind of drop a bit compared to how you guys started.
It only drops because people don't appreciate themselves. Law of diminishing returns. Because that same man that, see, brighter future, if your libido is dropping with one person, it is increasing with somebody else. What's the rest of me? If your libido is dropping with your wife, no, I know. I'm just telling you that for a lot of people, don't these men have side chicks? Brighter future.
No, not listen. Like myself, I don't.
No, I didn't say you, but a lot of men. Do you want to act like Nigerian men don't cheat?
But what I'm saying is, back then when we started, probably you might be having like 3 rounds, but now but
brighter future, those same men one buy side chicky, one she 5 rounds.
Any so toba side chick, check or toba 5 rounds. The top side chick
and that is part of the problem. It is still in discipline. Regardless, when I was married, I still had a high sexual drive. It is just in discipline. And brighter future. I also think because, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like sometimes people don't necessarily even marry their spec. I'm not saying that the situation of life will not change some things, but it should not be that bad. If both of you are disciplined, you love yourself and you are actively working. Yes, the frequency might reduce, but the intensity. Do you know what it means to make love to one that you love?
Yeah.
Intensity and most of you are not in love, not you. I'm just thinking.
Generally.
Why do we think because people are married, better future, and they are in love? A lot of people are not in love. They are in contracts. They are in relationship. Baba náà á ti jókòó síta láti ọ́fíìsì kò ní wá until night. You have not built intimacy. You have not done anything. I don't see a lot of people's marriages and think about it and say, these people are in love. A lot of people are just there for the children. Or they are there because it's convenient. Or they are in the diaspora. They are there because one paying bills. But yeah, our country 70%, yeah, 30%. And everybody is just going about their life. They're like glorified roommates. So if you are rooming with somebody, there'll be extra fantasy. But the little I've tasted from love, see, if I and one be and both of you are intentional, you might not have it as much, but it will be intense when you do. There's a bond. I can't pay love with. I think I discard in love. So when people say they have been married for 20 years, married for 15 years, married for 10 years, a lot of people are not in love anymore. It's just convenient. It's convenient to be together. So if their extra life has really reduced, do you understand? Have you tell me, riddle me this.
Very right. Yeah, I don't. So only because like my best is a single mom. Yeah. So and I've seen both sides because I usually talk about my dad, how he was a deadbeat and all of that. And I just feel like I got lucky with my partner. So both begin there saw you because it's not really the norm. I'm like my friend. I'm really praying for a good guy for her. Man, to maybe a lot of men do decide, like, okay, let me go for someone who I really love, and let me be disciplined, and let me, but maybe it's not possible for them, or we might live more. But I still, I know we will not mind shaking, we will not mind cheat and all that. But I still see a lot of white men, they are able to do that, to just love one person. How manly shape you, typical black law. That's what I've noticed.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Nigerian men can't manage. I think a lot of people are more polygamous than they let on. So they conform to religion. A lot of people desire more than one person. And that's why I would never come on here and bash polygamy. It's not for me. I can never do it. But I also think a lot of people, both men and women, because I've seen women that have great husbands but don't want to sleep with multiple people. And that's one thing I think we shy away from. And it's okay if your religion doesn't permit it. Your religion is not the standard by which everybody should live. Your religion is for you. Your culture, your belief is for you. It's not how I should live. But I always say it, and I believe with the same content anybody ever me so. A lot of people desire multiple people to meet you. That is why with some men, who stay confess Sunday, we sleep with somebody else.
Timothy is sort of about see, Timothy, it's the system. The system in our area, which is our country, is quite different from what we have here. If you're talking about when you go for bed, cheat, take back here, I won't go no for my shade you. But the system will go fire down because we believe like by now, we believe if I get out. But not if I work with it.
No,
you have to be engineer.
Right after my people, so we need so we will of course I want to because no one not share. But we will really come when you see that genuine love, right? Like I used to say, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not as good as my husband when it comes to this love thing, right? Yeah, so borrow. But and I think maybe because he's from a home, our parents are not really more low. I think sometimes me and my wife genetically inclined. I don't know. Like my father-in-law too. I read that genuine like love yeah where go So I sometimes it make one of it be genetics. I be because I really love like a lot of our men to be more committed. That's why we have much happier homes.
They can't be committed. Some of them should not even be married. That's the problem. The moment, the reason why it might seem like Oyibo is slightly better when it comes to commitment is because their culture, first of all, they don't even have culture. They don't have culture. They don't have culture, right? But they have values. This time running on the culture. What exactly right after one culture? But their value system doesn't necessarily push marriage, right? When you keep shaming people into it, I have a cousin that is 53. He has never been married. He's a sweet person. And because every time we have a family meeting, I won't be bringing it up. She will marry. I don't want to say this. She will marry me. Kiniko. I know. And he will smile. He will laugh. And he will take a bit more. Because it's 53. And I told my mom one day, this is uncommon. I don't like me like Modeshi. But why do all of you tease this guy? You understand? Kiniko money must hit. Nipoloti ko. But he pay you. But this man has told you that he has decided to be alone. He's enjoying himself. I guess what is a lovely uncle to everybody is listening. You get Timashi and Kwe, you'll be there, you buy gifts, the kids love him. He has decided that he does not want to make a woman miserable. Right? And one or more, he knows he can't be with one person. So instead of putting the woman under his roof, money had palpitations, he decided to be single. But somehow, almost everybody in my family has a problem with it. That's why I said, even when I lived in Nigeria and I never traveled out, I've always been an open-minded person because I've always wondered how does somebody else living their life affect you so much? We have that problem in Nigeria. You didn't tie your own.
You have to desensitize yourself.
You have to, yes. I'm like, I have to my money kilo coin. See, uncle, let me tell you, marry. When she could better, we won't marry. Right? He's enjoying himself, he's traveling, he's taking his nieces love him, his nephew is buying everybody gifts. He has decided not to frustrate somebody. He has that much self-awareness. Let me see.
I've got a colleague like that. Mom, tease all this money. Who you want to leave this money for? Any
That's one thing
that is to something. And I command tease a leg. Of course, we did. The one we did training.
The professor, at his own age, you need a woman. It does not need a woman to take care of him, professor. Get her out of. Go and do your retirement in order, either in the UK or the US. Have a 401k or fucking max it out. That's not the problem. Get nurses.
Hello, everyone. I just kind of like came in and they say hi.
Mr. Wright, 1 moment. Let's ask Mr. Wale for 1 minute. Let's just ask if he's happy for you to go first. Mr. Wale, Shaky, Mr. Wright, go first. Or what do you?
Oh, that's fine. Oh, no, I was just actually introducing myself. Mr. Wale came in, you left me out of it. And he didn't say
sorry, I can see.
I didn't want to just get quiet, like,
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I'm glowing. I'm glowing.
Has there been a babe? Is there a babe underneath that? Like, you've been surprisingly cheerful lately.
I'm just happy and just came through some happy moments. It's good to be happy.
That's good to know, bro. Stay happy, okay?
Yeah, it's good to be happy.
I mean, regarding I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear.
All right, that's good.
Oh, I mean, regarding the discussion, I'm agreeing with I think marriage, and as an African, I think it's kind of overrated.
I'm not at one point, like, so I don't think really like
Important in marriage, and even in the Western world. Can you speak louder, please? Sorry. I think it's more transactional than
system in place, like
over here, especially here in the United States, white people. It's more transactional. Are you saying that it is transactional wedding or marriage or wife? I mean, in Western world, it's more transactional in a way. Like, in a way. Like about Africa? I want you to specify the two of them. So it's not transactional in Africa, but it's transactional in the Western world.
Well, I mean, lately it's becoming transactional in Africa, but that's not how it was supposed to be. It's more culture. I mean, like, that's one certain age for the marriage. In terms of like having when it gets a certain age, like nobody wants to be like 50 something. Have that energy at that time.
So I think marriage is still value in it. Honestly, I'm up for it. Married one time, I love it. I enjoy it. It's beautiful things. Keep some of us around it, and also it's just both nice. It's more of like both matched in all ways that's important to you, as well as them too. Because sometimes you're more focused on what is important to you, the other person, right? And at the end of the day, what's important to them too is
kind of like supposed to be on the forefront as well. And most marriage. I heard about those important in marriage. Compatible. Important. And
Mr. Right, Mr. Right, you're going in and out, in and out. I think you just put your mic next to your mouth, please. Because we hear you, now we will hear you again. We hear you, we hear you.
Then it goes in, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that. How about me?
Yes, it's better now.
I'm just more of a kind of like that.
Sorry, are you using the earpiece, bro? Sorry, Mr. Right. Are you using like?
Yeah, I'm using it now.
Yeah, so it keeps drifting back, back and forth. Do you want to disconnect that and just speak directly into your phone?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, now, can you guys hear me?
Much better, thank you.
All right. Sorry, I wear glasses, especially when I'm on screen, so it's convenient. But yeah, as I was saying, it's finding somebody that is, you guys are compatible in every way that is important. Like that, there's no, they gotta be like a shake, kind of like okay, no tick tick. So there's still value in marriage, and I will be an advocate for it. Like but just marrying right, marrying the right person. It makes your life a lot easier.
Are you an advocate for it?
I'm advocate for it because it is.
Hold on,
let
let me finish my question.
Yeah.
Or rather, a statement. Be an advocate for it without pressuring those that don't want it. Do you have that balance?
Of course, there's
Or
no
do you
pressure.
shame people that do not see it that way, that don't see it as a big deal? That's just where I have an issue.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. There's no shame into when I first came in, I mentioned maybe that's part that you guys didn't hear. I mentioned that marriage and having kids are overrated. They're so overrated these days that people get shamed for it. And I don't think people should get shamed for it. But being in love, being in a marriage, in a union that is peaceful. There's nothing like it. And for people to just rule it out or trying to rule it out just because of what society or whatever say, I think you're missing out.
No, you see, you just did what? Sorry, I would tackle you more this night.
Okay,
you just did what? You just contradicted yourself. You said now that you don't mind if people don't want it, but you're in the same mouth. You're also saying that they are missing out on it if they don't want it. You don't expect. Some people,
I'm using it in the same way. If I said if you don't like it,
some people don't think that they are missing
out on the point. You don't like it for, but that doesn't mean it's bad.
Because some people don't see it as they are missing out. They even see people that are married as problem they knew.
I mean, and it is like that, but I don't mean any problem. I don't mean there was just
right. Mr. Right. I think let me say this, Sherry. T. No very good guy. Too very good guy. Too committed. Too steadfast. No. So what we need now? Do you understand? So it must be to like it. Miss out. No.
Do you think some ladies who want to get married?
Go ahead.
No, it's because they are available. Right.
No.
Available, you so we need support it.
Would you say that
relationship is the thing too? Like if you have that mindset,
would you say that some women that don't want to have kids is because they cannot have kids?
No.
Why do we think that some people genuinely do not want it, even if they get a good spouse?
Some people do.
Some people actually. So let's not always make it. Tell me to just be like they've not seen good people. My former coworker has a partner of 25 years. She does not want to marry. That man has tried to get them to the courthouse. They live together. Their names are put on the mortgage. She's the next of kin. She even she's Filipino, right? And she's a Catholic. Said her family, a lot of people don't agree with her. 25 years together. To me, on the surface, they have a lovely relationship. But she says she's never bringing the government into her relationship.
You know, Mr. Right.
Okay.
Is that your hair?
Let's jump in right now.
Yeah, come in, Mr. Wadu.
All right. So, good evening, everybody. Beautiful discussion as usual. But I want to touch on the shaming, but let me just start from where I think I should start from tonight. There was this talk, I don't know who mentioned it, it was Temi or Olu about in the West that white people seem to be more committed to, beautiful love relationships in the context of marriage, right? And we have in our own side of the world. And I wanted to say that, let me just throw it as a question. In our society, right, is love emphasized as a prerequisite for marriage as much as it's emphasized in the West? Can anybody help me with that?
Can you repeat that again?
I said, is love emphasized as a prerequisite for marriage in our society as much as it is emphasized in the West?
I don't think so.
The answer is actually no.
No,
The
I
answer
don't think
is
so.
no.
Why did you say
In
no?
our society, marriage is more emphasized than the love element.
Yes.
You don't hear things like, oh, I have not found someone I really love. That's why I don't want to get married. If the girl is in her 30s, they are going to jump on her and say, you are getting old. Or when you love, don't back her. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we found ourselves now with a lot of loveless marriages, things that you can call marriage of convenience, you can call it arrangements, you can call it transactional marriages. Do you understand? And we have a lot of unhappiness. Like some of the things that Ulu espouses are beautiful relationships that, the bond is deep, is pure, the commitment is mutually, do you understand? Is deep on both ends and the rest of that. Now, even Olu, you would agree that in many cases you can find that and you will not find it in the context of marriage. True or false?
I agree 100%. I literally put that in the comment section.
Yeah. Now, if you throw that to society, especially our society, you see one girl, let's say she attends Redeem, not even Deeper Life this time. She goes to Redeem. She runs into a guy. The guy, let's say for example, the guy goes to Ahmadiyya Mosque, right? And they love each other and they want to live, together, and they are deeply committed to each other, and the relationship is beautiful. You are going to see heavy criticisms on both sides. The people of our church are going to go, do you understand? On this other guy's side, to do like, what exactly do you think you're doing? So we've put marriage on the pedestal. So people rush into it without necessarily looking too much at the prerequisite.
Right? In fact, Mr. Wale, if you get on deal or you might get pause there.
No,
It will be two religions that come together to marry, right?
I'm not talking about the religion. I just use that.
It's two religions. Don't let us hide it under the carpet. It's two people from two different religions loving each other.
Okay, don't let us put it that way. I don't want it to be.
I think that is
you understand?
you used it as an analogy. It can also be two people with different beliefs, extreme beliefs, or two people what society thinks is extreme, and it is true.
Oh, to get so look. I'm just trying to elaborate my brain better here.
Yes, that's what it means.
I'm only trying to elaborate my brain. It's like two religious people meeting.
It might be even tribe.
And the family are objecting to it or against it, right?
I'm not saying the families are objecting. I'm just throwing
maybe the society is against it.
Yes, I'm just throwing a couple, an example of a couple that loves genuinely very deeply. Their relationship is fantastic, but They also have um, um, communities where they also belong, right? Like somebody attends a regime, the other person may be a member of Methodist Church. It really doesn't matter. But because those societies, right, they elevate marriage, right? This formalized union beyond and above love and happiness. They are still going to criticize love and happiness because they didn't fit it within the confines of that formalized marriage. I hope you understand. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So our emphasis in this society is never love and happiness. It is, even if you want to fall in love and have this beautiful relationship, hello, marry. You know, do you understand? Insert it in that box. But in the West, you can have, especially in the UK, they call it partner, right? You can have partners that have been partners for 30 years. They are not under any pressure to get married. Do you understand? And their life is beautiful. The relationship is deep. Sometimes they get married, sometimes they're not. So, if it's how I think marriage, ló jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn máa jáwọ́ nú ẹ̀ without paying attention to this. Now, they get inside it. Part of the lot of things that Olu criticizes, or in a sense, just shame some of them over, is you now jump into it. You're not happy. You're frustrated. So some people's lives are at risk, basically. You know, you are now trying to, harass people with the longevity of what you've experienced. You know, we've been together for 20 years. 20 years.
God bless you, Mr. Wale. Some of them have been together for 20 years and they have cried for 18 years.
You get 20 years of what? Actually, I'll say it to everybody here. If you have honestly been in love before, I have been. There is nothing as beautiful as that. Pure, we'll see materialism being the driver of it. Do you understand? We'll see there are less strings attached. It's just two people that are deeply into each other. Do you understand? There is nothing that going to last forever. That is another question, though. But nothing is going to ever last.
Nothing is promised forever. Either you guys separate
forever?
death or
When we say forever, what's the concept of
No, what I mean
forever.
What I mean forever is, can one of them not change?
What change? You're trying.
It's just an assumption. I'm not defining it.
That's what I'm trying to answer, right? If let's say 225-year-olds, right, fall in love right now, are we not going to be throwing it at them that this is your relationship? Are you sure you're going to still be in love at 60? Who cares?
I just want to get right. You got to get love. You got to get love.
Right. And if you work out,
Mr. Wale, you got to get love. To my exist. Everybody would not be after one thing or the other. For example, they will not say money is important in love. Do you understand me? Because if you are saying you are like for you, if you reference there, if you are in love with each other, because they're not bothered, which I support that. But Africa, poverty is in but I
and that is Mr. Wale's point, that people marry for the wrong reasons. Mr. Wale literally is saying the same thing that he's saying. Like,
well, if you man go on one scene, economic factors play big bad.
And we are not denying it, but that is still wrong reasons. Life is beautiful.
Okay.
It is still wrong reasons to marry somebody.
Trust me, in societies where you see these beautiful relationships, we sometimes like to assume that it's only found in the context of people that are well off economically. It's not necessarily so. The first time I traveled to India, 2007, I saw a lot of beautiful, romantic relationships that they were exhibiting on Okada. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. You will see a young boy and a young girl going on a date on a bike. Those bikes that look like scooters, right? And they love each other. And I go back to Nigeria and I told friends, I said, it is impossible in Nigeria. More possible at some level of society anyway, maybe
village and stuff like that. But like I was in New Delhi, right? It's the seat of government. It's like Abuja. So to say you find a young graduate, right, dating another young graduate, and the boy has a bike, and he goes to the home of the girl or the apartment and picks her, or their home anyway, picks her up on the bike, and they go for a date, is impossible in our society. Kò sọ̀rọ̀ àdúgbò wo ló fẹ́ gbé? Kí làwọn parents ẹ̀ máa sọ? Boy ọlọ́kadà ẹ̀ ló ń tẹ̀lé kiri. Do you understand? Just to let you know how far away we are from emphasizing what is sensible. Where is the young guy supposed to get an exceptionally fancy car? I mean, where? You know? But our emphasis is so far off, focusing on people's happiness. People can be happy in one room. You can be happy in a two-bedroom. I've met people in the West, right, that, they've lived like, when I used to live in Ohio, I had a couple living in an apartment complex. They've because their income level and maybe the circumstances of their life, I don't really know the full details. It has never really bothered them, like, seriously, to buy a home. Me, I was someone that just moved to the US. I had issues with that, like, but their relationship is beautiful, basic furnishing in the home, but they are deeply committed to each other. So, but we will criticize things that don't come with materialism, that does not fit in one particular kind of box. And we now have this pandemic, because I call it now the marital trauma is a pandemic in Nigeria. You hear stories, you are alarmed. And unlike what Olu tries to say all the time, though, you guys need to get out. In a lot of ways, they are in a jam in this kind of country. The economy is so bad, it's not very easy for you to just pull out when you already have 3-4 children, that only the man is economically empowered. Do you understand? So a whole lot of them, they can't just easily just pull out like that. So they endure it. Then on this funny app, I joined TikTok not more than 3 months ago. I've heard so many people talk about tobacco OKOYA believe. We are trying to sing. Why would somebody that's happy in a marriage want to leave? Why are you threatening someone that is unhappy, right, and already suffering in the marriage? You're threatening the person with more suffering when the person is out.
Because Mr. Wale, I think it's misery breeds company. They are miserable. It's easier when you can sit down and say, you understand? But the moment you cannot relate with such poverty stories, maybe people are saying, you take the land, but you can eat 3 square meals, whatever you choose, right? Those people don't feel comfortable coming with you with your problem. Because I say it the most, that most of the people that I've seen that pound on people that are not crazy about marriage don't necessarily have happy. They are managing. The people that are genuinely enjoying their marriage, I don't even think they're on social media. And if they are, their business is not on social media. And if they are, they don't really care if you want to marry or not. Because you cannot, I might be wrong, but you cannot be trolling people for not wanting something, and you genuinely convince them that thing that you claim I should want, it's making you happy. Because it's like, are you trying to force me into your happiness? That's how it is. I don't understand. Something won't bear me. I don't get it. And that's why I said we like collective misery. Really, 20 hours. You get, everybody complain. That is how it is. I think with these marriage stories, right? I feel like they want to recruit, because even some of my aunties that used to shame me, Mr. Wale, for being a divorcee, their homes are trash.
Absolutely.
So I just couldn't be rude and say, because I'm looking at you, your man beats you up. Your man has 3 kids outside the marriage. You guys are not an example. I mean, if they are poster kids for endurance, we're looking for endurance. They are poster kids for that. But there's nothing about what you have that I want. So why are you mad that I don't want what you have?
See, the second part of it though is also now, right, that where the males, right, the men, you know, people talk about dating pool is trash, is all muddy and dirty and all, right? No matter how beautiful you desire love and commitment and relationship, right? If you're straight, right, even if you're not straight, but if you're straight, you want to be with a man. That's where you run into the mentality of those men. Okay? A lot of men also are seriously damaged. I remember just some hours ago you were talking about, you know, somebody going to lick the plate of Olusho or some, you know, people like that. And I have found that in this country, I have moved with a lot of incredibly successful people, right? That I see the way they relate with the opposite sex. I'm still alarmed. Like, how do you land in Port Harcourt this evening? We will land at 6 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, a girl you've never known before from Adam is on your bed. And the two of you are going to sleep naked till the next morning. I don't, for someone like me, I believe you must be seriously damaged as a human being for that to be comfortable for you. I don't just understand that.
Is that what nice that?
Let me tell you how I first saw this. I was working in the Senate at the time. They had Senate retreat. And one senator from Kwara was in the next room to my boss, right? So I went to my room early in the morning. I came back to see my boss in the morning. And the guy started knocking my boss's door. You know, I was asking my boss, oh, God, oh, Papa, me see now. Like, any kilo shall meet you sooner now. Oh, Bariwo. When they went for their dinner in the evening, you know, the governor of the state arranged girls for them. And he, you know, wanted to pick one girl. But, you know, every other person like picked. And these girls were going to offer Lile. So two of them now forced themselves on him. No, we minimal limit. So we just felt, let me just carry the two. This is a frail old man who back to that guy, who to show the Baba. Olójúkú bá pa àwọn méjì ìjà àwọn ọmọ tó wà òkè dáadáa tó wà òkè.
Ọmọ bàbá olójúkú kòrò nìyẹn.
Bó ṣe kó àwọn méjì wọ yàrá ni. So, you know, he now said that he had so many drinks already and all, and he felt tired. You know, by the time he went and had his, you know, a shower, tó ní káwọn ọmọ yẹn lọ wẹ̀, kán tó wẹ̀ tán, òun ti sùn lọ. By the time he woke up, those ones were ready to leave. They were not woke him up, and they said he should pay them. Because of that, we say now that we back at 25K for each of them. This was 2007. And 25K. Once you see funny, that's how the two of them. Once you lock pajamas, don't know what say it.
Anyway.
So he had to pay full money. He said he had to part with 100K for each of those girls.
No, that's not only life is beautiful. It's just like a bashewu saying Kokumali throughout. It's not only. Okay. Our color Kuba senator now.
You know, so it was not saying that my boss didn't get was a law penetrating Kumalumpa. Only that when he looked at it, one of them is actually taller than him, and he just figured there's no way I can win this battle. You know, it paid off. But where I'm going is this. Where I'm going is maybe as a young boy, I read too many romantic novels. Maybe it's the movies I watched. Maybe it was novels that I read. But if I don't have an emotional bond with someone, it is impossible. Do you get? I just don't understand how it's possible for me to be able to perform. Even having a stranger on my bed, impossible. It's impossible. That I have only one life to live. I have heard all kinds of things that happen to guys. Sometimes they will put some things in your drink and make you sleep off so that they can rob you, carry all your things and run away. You know, some of those girls are not really ready to sleep with you. They are ready to rob you. They are robbers. And Cardi B, this American rapper, has shared stories of how she used to rob customers back then when she was on the streets. So, you know, I will now go and sleep off on the same bed with someone that
Some of them even take women to their homes. Their homes.
Tuberculosis. There are many communicable diseases, hepatitis.
Herpes, yes. I want to mama kiss her. Goodness gracious. But Mr. Wale, do you know they have fees for with condom, without condom? Some will tell you with condom 50K, without condom 150 money. She extra will prevent infection. I don't know.
I will share this one. There are some group of I have some friends, right? These are friends of friends. All of us have some kind of group that we travel together. You know, pick a place in the year, go there, go and have fun and stuff. But there's this set of boys. This particular year, they are Ralph, when they move, went in Jamaica, from Jamaica to London, Manchester actually, watched some matches in Manchester, then came to Abuja. And I happened to be in Abuja when he came into town. So our mutual friend, right, told me, this boy is happy. They're in Atlanta. They're in town. Oh, let's go hang out with them. So they booked this fancy hotel, and we sat there. We were supposed to eat, somewhere on with the open roof, where the hotel is called open roof. But the rain was falling, so we ran into one of the suites. And I saw one guy with a lot of clinical equipment set up on the dining table. Amani, Joshua Mabara, so the guy went ahead and left the place. The next thing, I said, one more. Somebody said, Wally. You can't Wally. I lost his suit. Okay. 10-15 minutes to my daddy. Another one Wally. And boys, you know what we found out? These 5 guys, they've organized 14 girls, right? Some from Benue, some from Kaduna. Everybody just gathered girls in Abuja. And one of the junior brothers of this guy is a medical doctor. So one call test. So what he could also in the table were testing equipment for different kinds of diseases, HIV, and all that.
They didn't want to use condom. My goodness.
So I went. You are going through this length because you just absolutely have to do raw. They are educated people. They are not, street boys, educated. I have been to the house of 2 of them.
Mr. Wale,
proper professionals.
Mr. Wale,
Nobody is saying they're not doing the LIB. He's not talking about location.
Olu is, see, one thing I understand, sorry, Mr. Wale, for cutting it. One thing I understand is adults, everybody. Yeah? So, and everybody should be responsible for their decisions eventually. Because if I'm talking about
it doesn't mean we still cannot talk about it as digital.
I'm not saying we should not. I'm not saying we
can
should
still
not
condemn it if the adults.
Of course. Shane not saying condemn any. Not today.
It's not right.
I'm not saying it's right.
The statistics of HIV that came out last week in Lagos.
You don't get what I'm saying.
So
I've never said it's right.
I
Story kan tó ní ẹ àwọn ọmọ kan wọ́n gbé wọn sùn wọ́n dejò wọ́n ṣe kinní kan. You remember those kind of stories? I don't know if anybody remembers.
I told the
Nigeria yìí tó dejò l'Abuja tó dejò.
It's just very.
So you can imagine how crazy these pathetic stories become and everything, and people will still.
Yeah, Mr. Wale, do you know?
Pastor kan not share three songs fún tó padà gbẹ̀mí ẹ̀ tán.
Mr. Wale, and this is my fear with wanting to, or when people try to push marriage or serious relationship with me, right? I grew up with like 10 guys. They went to Ife, everything. I saw girls, I saw things. As much as growing up with men gave me street OT, in a way, I feel like it also damaged me, right? Because I'll see the way they speak about girls. I'll see girls come in and out of our home, right? Girlfriend 1 hour, girlfriend 2 hour, and the men that you spoke about, Tony, I want cleaning material, equipment. I won't be surprised if a couple of them are in serious relationships or marriages.
Thank you,
and they still had to do that bullshit. That was why when I was telling Timothy earlier that I will never come on here and condemn polygamy, condemn people that are in a polyamory or whatever. I would rather people stay true to themselves. A lot of people want the security that comes with marriage, but don't want to do the work. I think the most single people on this world, to me, are married men that are not single. They are the most single because I don't get it. And just like you said, that maybe you watch romance movies. I remember saying it once here to House of Joy that maybe I'm the one, or I won't allow people to convince me that I'm having unrealistic expectations. Because how can I be single and still take marriage vows more serious than they marry? It amazes me. Like, I'm single and I think people should be faithful if you want to get married. You should respect your partner. Basic things. It's basic. Then why marry?
The only side that I will also relate with, right, is I have also learned to take the world the way it is, right? The fact that some things are jarring, right? It really shock you. You shouldn't take the fact that I'm privileged to see life the way it is. That's not just the way it is. Soludo is a very erudite fellow. Moritoli or money, but I got me believe. Below you to man it. I've heard stories. I was with in South Africa once. People that you respect based on their intellect. But that's just the way the world is, right? There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah. But the point is, we should also not discount the fact that a number of these guys are damaged. I'll share you this funny story. When I was in secondary school, we were in SS2, and we had this group of friends. They were more my cousin's friends than mine personally. We were in the same set and all, but we were all just learning how to drive. So, what is so raw? People, we talked about sex. Sex was in everybody's head. Everybody's down. Just were differentiating. Then one day they all got mad and said, "Today, I was the one that drove them to Kado. They knew was okay at the river. Ili Ashewo ni gbogbo ti wà differentiating. Èmi mo drive wọn lọ. Okay, Bọ́lá. Mo lọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kan tó ń gbé lókè tó ní ọ́fíìsì kan lókè Bọ́lá, ọ̀pọ̀ṣẹ́ ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù lókè Bọ́lá. Ọ̀dọ̀ yẹn mo lọ hang sí. And I drove back to go and pick them up. 4 of those guys got the virgin Ili Ashewo lókè Àdó. So, if that is how you started, do you get? When you became, 30, it's not a big deal. Right now, at my level, that there is not oversupply of babes. 2 some, 3 some,
fún show kan lánàá, Mr. Wale Kinite sọ èmi ò fẹ́ dárúkọ ẹni yẹn. Come on, lọ cast as a popular comedian. He used to show in Dallas yesterday. They were watching organize the babes from he and the other guy that co-anchored it. They were really and what I was community by. The very watching bread, sliced bread. What the hell?
Lu, am I a pound for a while? She's here to buy jáde ní gbòòrò, to buy jáde, take it, leave it. Most of ọkùnrin they will just bring me one ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀pẹ́ iná ìgboro làwọn ẹ̀tọ́ ìfọ̀ yìí ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lè sọ fún mi pé séǹtì mi láyé ní gbòòrò tẹ́tẹ́ nǹkan tí mo sọ.
Séǹtì lè mí o.
Why can't we say what some people are saying?
Ẹni sùúrù. It
doesn't mean that everybody does nonsense, Mr. Brighter. Why do you like to think that?
Wait now, Olu, if you see the way these people live, I know what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean everybody, Mr. Brighter Future. Mr. Wale can claim his sentences.
Wait now. If you're around them, it will only take the grace of God for you not to commit. So that is why I do say this, that it is better you run away. If you are always following them,
I'll tell you something.
But you can't. My thing is also that he cannot say that he's a saint. That's just my own. I'm a saint.
In as much as Brighter Future has a point, I also want to beg to disagree with Brighter Future because Sherry, the thing is, okay, listen, I was surrounded by Amugo all my life. So it was a sole decision.
Thank you.
If I go, do you understand? And I never did. Me, mobi tasty boheri, me on fa, me moboheri. If you don't come to if yes, me more anything.
You know why I said that? I feel like sometimes we like to feel that. Oh, everybody is shaking it. I feel like sometimes we say it to feel better about when guys like everybody is shaking. Just like I know girls that sleep around, and I do not sleep around. I will beat my chest. If everybody's sleeping around, I don't sleep around.
It's very common.
Yes, I don't sleep around. I think it's irritating. Good luck to those that feel like it's sexual freedom. They can have one night stand if they want. I will not tell you not to do it. But I think that sleeping with people that you don't know their health status, have no intimacy with, to me, it's crap. Right? And I know that it is common now because everybody has sexual freedom. But I usually I'm not too happy when people say, Daniel, shaking it. Some of us, what actually nonsense.
Okay, I'll tell you, let me tell you another story so that it won't look like I sort of be saying. When you talk about the Ashewo team in Nigeria, did I feel good about it? No. Because I just the same way is disgusting. How could killer enjoy in communities? Do you understand? To me, in my brain, sometimes I be like, what am I going to tell my brain? Okay, but I'm going to do boy. I'll connect to the law. Come and try. I don't understand. I don't understand. I told the guy, money, killing over so for brain. What am I going to tell my brain? Do you understand? So, I will come at you just, I think it's just a personal decision. You have man born me.
Thank you. I went to Unilag. My girls don't want the private hostel. Me, my final year still in American Mulat. She runs.
Let me shock you. If the money is ni end days, me. Baba and she egbele mukaki. Kompuke àwọn guys won't fast cigar for okay, didn't fast cigar kilo 1 month. When they fast cigar for 1 month. Do you know why I stopped cigar after 1 month? Okay, because I'm fat, I lead rule and you can't do it publicly. So why do I need to continue doing it? And I stopped it. It wasn't even up to 1 month. Do you understand? Now, am I going to condemn people that do it? No. Do you get? So there are some things that naturally, not like I said, ẹlòmíì ti wà damage forever. Ẹlòmíì wọnú ẹ̀ kò lè padà. Ibi tí addiction ti wọlé ni. Do you understand? So ẹlòmíì wà tẹ́ pé má ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nǹkan tẹ́lòmíì bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ bíi tẹ́tẹ́ náà tẹ́tẹ́ wò lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ sọ fún mi tí mi ta lótò ta bàbá jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ Naija gbogbo ẹ̀. Kí lèmi wá ń di ẹ̀ kí ni mo wá lọ di tẹ́tẹ́ kò ń ṣe greed o. Èmi kàn fẹ́ make owó káàkan pé já break poverty yìí lówó láti dìde wa.
You have more self-control and discipline, but tẹ́tẹ́
Àtẹ́lẹ̀ ìyá mo dẹ̀ wọ́n pé mi ìjẹ́wọ́ ní kíni ó kú kí n jẹ 44 million game kan ja ààrẹ ó ti lọ bí ẹ̀mí lóko ọmọ ó dàbí ọ̀nà mi ò gbà bíbá ẹ̀dá rẹ̀ tẹpá mọ́ hard work mi. Do you understand? So a lot of things like this. So there are several reasons why people do some things. If you have ever sat down with Ashewo before and asked them, why are you doing this thing? If you hear their stories, you'll be shocked. Oníkí Ashewo kan ní ẹ tó bá mọ àpáta níbàdàn dáadáa ilé Ashewo kan wà nílẹ̀ Òbésèrè lọ́wọ́ pé ilé Ashewo yẹn ní àpáta máa.
Àwọn amọ̀bẹ̀.
Ní odò ọ̀nà ńgbà yẹn odò ọ̀nà yẹn bí Aṣẹ́wó ló ṣe kí ló sọ ẹ́ dèjì iṣẹ́ yìí ó ní àpé ọmọ Ẹdó lòun kíní kan ó dẹ̀ wá ó dẹ̀ mú un wá sí Ìbàdàn kó ń wá Ọ̀zù ìgbà tó ń dẹ̀ realize pé kíní kan mo dẹ̀ wú gẹ̀ àwa la tún fún gẹ̀ lówó ńgbà yẹn ok àwa náà tá lọ bẹ̀ tá lọ kí la lọ sí àwa kéré ńgbà yẹn ayé mọ́ plantation ní school ńgbà yẹn kí la lọ ṣe just pay for the fun of àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa níjà kan lọ ẹja ló gbáṣẹ́ wà dẹ̀ ló gbáṣẹ́ èlò lásán èlò lọ fi gbáṣẹ́ wò máa. But personally, did I feel good about all these things? Do you understand? Ẹnìkan ní Aṣẹ́wó no get excuses. Well, you can't judge people for whatever they do. That's the one thing I've come to realize.
Aṣẹ́wó ní excuse pa. Anybody tó bá mú hotel kan báyìí tó wà ní ẹgbẹ́ kí lórúkọ estate ní ọ̀fà Adéníyì Jones. A máa lọ ra ara ìsìnbẹ̀ lálẹ́ báyìí this estate tí Odùduwà investment real estate níbi street yẹn tí ẹgbẹ́ Cap PLC.
Okay.
Behind the fence Cap PLC there is one hotel Aṣẹ́wó yẹn.
Mr. Wale balẹ̀ sí mo gbogbo bíbí.
Bámi mo ń gbé ní estate yẹn náà wọ́n á dẹ̀ máa lọ bí láti lọ ra.
Can't you know it? Why do you guys think
Why
like
do you
that?
guys think Why can't you know it?
You know, Ashewo now, life is beautiful. So, are you going to call me Ashewo?
No,
No, I understand. Don't try to twist it. Because we feel like it's not possible
No, we are
for
not
you to be a
twisting.
man.
What we are saying is.
I know what you are saying. Because I know what you're saying. It doesn't matter. I know runs girls. I know Ashewo. Does that mean I'm an Ashewo? I know plenty runs girls. I went to
That's not what we are saying.
because why are we making it seem like someone cannot know these things and not actually be sleeping around?
Okay.
It's possible. He might be. I mean, nobody knows Mr. Wale. He might not be a saint like he's claiming, but
Mr. Wale is a pro.
He might not be a customer is forever a customer.
Ashewo to help him. I don't call them Ashewo. They are lovely people if they want to help you.
Mr. Wale, Mama, Oman connect one, please, Mr. Wale.
Mr. Wale, ẹnìkan fẹ́ gbọ́ story yẹn sọ story ẹ̀ kan ẹ̀ tán àwọn kan fẹ́ gbọ́ story yẹn.
Our life of Lagos story. Our life of Lagos story.
Gbogbo àwọn tí mò ń bá rìn, èmi ò sí lójúèrè o, Ògùnṣe Polytechnic. But a lot of my friends were in Ògùnṣe Polytechnic. Èmi mo máa ń gbé wọn lọ ra gbó lọ́dọ̀ bàbá ńlá náà. Ìyẹn tó bá máa ń bàbá ló ta gbó. Èmi mo ń drive wọn lọ. There is one head of confra kan pè lálábàmà jọgọjọ. I mean, mo bá àwọn pípọ̀ eré díẹ̀. Do you understand? But I never smoked it because I just don't know how all those things never really appeal to me, right? But if we only bá àwọn èèyàn rìn, right? Why does a man kó bá àwọn èèyàn kan tó máa ní àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tó ń jalè tó máa dọjọ́ kan tí ọlọ́pàá máa kó ogun wọn tó wá dẹ̀ máa argue pé òun ò sí lára wọn and everybody finds it very difficult to believe. But he actually wasn't part of them. But ó ní wọn lọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ ni bóyá ẹjọ́ gbé ládùúgbò, you understand things like that. You know, so go follow. But if you think about farabalẹ̀ nígboro ayé, you are going to know a lot of things. And you will know that the truth about life is stranger than fiction. So, if you enjoy the chat, you enjoy the neighborhood.
Yeah, I just want to fight for our shareholders this night. We love that.
What's your concern with that shareholder?
We see that good people won't support where we live. We love you, we see you. See, to Mr. Wally's point, right? Why I don't like to judge, or why I have an issue with thinking that some people cannot be saints, is because I do feel like we have a perception of people, right? If you see me, you might have a perception of me. I have tattoos, I have piercing, but in contact with me, Shaitan Bori, I don't do it.
But you know what's freaky now.
If I like you, of course, that's how it should be.
Fine. Yeah.
Shouldn't freaky, that's the thing. Freaky should be, to me. I'm not saying those that want to be freaky with those that don't like can't be. But to me, I believe that SCX is enjoyed. Freaky is enjoyed when there's a bond, when there's a connection, when you guys gel, right? When you can I don't know if anybody have any relationship that you can be outside. Life is beautiful with your partner. And gossip then sorrow, and you and your baby know what is going on. That's kind of connection. Now imagine somebody now matching your freak. To me, it's beautiful, and that's why instead of porn, sometimes I prefer Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra deals with more of making love and those blah. If you watch some of the movies, you read some of the books, it's more sensual. And I think that's why we say I like going to some gentleman's club too, right? Not the hardcore strippers, but some strippers that you see beautiful girls. And the men there are properly behaved because it's sensual. You're looking at them and you're at a partner and they're so those things I don't know, but I do think that if somebody matches your fly, matches your freak, you have a bond, you guys love each other, and you're growing, being freaky within that confines is mind blowing. As opposed to
Agents will thorough confident. Most of me confident conduct. For our more me come so for me. Could that found see to impose religion on the world in African countries. And I mean it. Only could want you are normal. Because Jejewa la Joku and Baba Yeti won't understand the concept. Ipe Ofeyawo kan fellow me problem ni ogbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́yàwó méjì ọkùnfẹ́ mẹ́ta. Tó yẹ pé báyẹn la ṣe ń lọ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni kò bá má sí gbogbo rògbòdìyàn yìí. Get because
explain again.
Mo máa rewind. Àwọn tó gbé religion wá wọ́n impose ẹ̀ lé wa lórí tó fi pa àwọn kankan rẹ́. Wọ́n pe kinní kan ní àìkú kinní kan fún wa tó ń parọ́ fún wa yẹn. Wọ́n ní kúre. Because religion ló dá gbogbo ṣẹ́rí nǹkan tó wà látàyé ayé wọ́n sọ pé àwọn kan lè fẹ́ àwọn ọkùnrin kan wà wọ́n lè fẹ́ more than one wife wọ́n lè fẹ́ more than two àwọn ọkùnrin kan wà they are capable of marrying 4, 5. Kí religion tó dé wọ́n tó capable by gba wèrè mẹ́sìn tẹ́lẹ̀ kò sí issue. Yes, now there was no issue.
Okay, so but you are this you can look like issues.
I might go. So what religion coupled with westernization. I was of my car, polygamy is bad. Kinikon is bad. Now, answer around ọkùnrin tó ti wà damaged this thing. Ṣé àwọn ọkùnrin míì gan ò fẹ́ ṣe gbogbo wèrè yìí. But ẹlòmíì wò pé kí ló máa sọ ní church. Issue go always dey. No be say issues no dey. But low key, we understand. Let's not imagine. There are exceptions to
what you are trying to say. As I'm correcting you wrong, and I said it here before that while I do not subscribe to polygamy, I will never do it. I think some people desire more than one partner, and we don't want to admit it. And I agree 100%. Some people desire more than one partner. Even some
engine
it might not even be engine, it might just be some people like multiple bodies. And you know we cannot you might not see some people they can watch their woman sleep with. See, it's a safe space, let me just talk. Some men, life is beautiful. Can watch their woman. That's what I'm saying. Some men don't mind sitting down watching their woman getting pleased by another woman. My point is, some people desire that. And it doesn't mean that she will not go back to a man and love a man. I know some religious people don't want to hear this, and I'm not advocating for it if you don't want it. But I truly believe that some people will find more than one person attractive. Some people will want more than one person. Do it safely and let those that you're with know the expectations. That's why I don't condemn those that are what are you doing? Can you email the show because I have what temper even on this platform going both bars, so I can't do it. But I don't see people doing polygamy and get offended. So long as it's not forced. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
This is a bit of a controversial thing. This is just not straight up polygamy. This is at the edge of polygamy, right? This is one of the things that I believe. Bad man, right? That just can't treat women right. I believe they should be gay.
Another level is the story.
So that's just one. That's one of my controversial things. So that oral for oral, one in Nigeria, one blue. I believe that for women, even the ones that try to claim they don't like polygamy and the rest of that, I believe let me start from half. I believe half of a good man is better than a whole of a bad man.
Of course.
No, I can do the reason why I can't do polygamy.
I'm not pushing it to you. Let me just
it's too volatile.
My controversial thing. I'm also saying that I believe strongly that a quarter of a good man is better than the whole of a bad man. And I say that in the context of BIA sharing sing. That is exactly what is happening. Yoruba ni philosophical, one new tobada, right? Meaning tobada, it will be desired by many.
Oh, of course.
And a lot of times, the people that are desiring it are willing to permit another person have a taste. Just because instead of Kampi, Uguani, or our own, sting, he to die, but Thomas Murphy, polygamy, gentlemen, is not by religion. I want to be religion, I do say that for most of them.
Yeah, I agree to that too. So definitely, that's the
in as much as that's polygamy, right, is supposed to be acceptable. Even the word, even the business can be okay. The union called marriage, right? Even by one man, one woman, check that everybody only what it takes not to marry. Be you for opinion.
Of course, as you saw before you came now. Of course, a lot of people shouldn't even be married.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people
should not even
go close to it at all because they don't even have what it takes.
Some people marry because they need a chef. Yeah, but it's in the comment section. See, I want to because we need the last mass on the phone.
So,
marry because he cannot be alone. Imagine that is the reason why he wants to marry. I know.
Àwọn wèrè tó gbà fún kìnìyàn náà. Okay, now òyìnbó wèrè náà tó kọ kìnìyàn tó polygamy is bad. Ẹ̀sọ́ àwọn ìyàwó yín di ẹrú ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ nìkan. Àwọn náà legalize baby mama ẹ̀sìn. Àbáwọn kọ́. It's true now. Someone náà
Yes, so Sherry, I can speak very much about Christianity, right? Christianity now about Africa, Christianity while at the Middle East, right? If you come to Africa direct, then you went through Europe, right? Europe look back. So once you mix here, the traditions of the white, or the see Christianity by one directly from the Middle East who forbid marrying more than one wife in any shape or form at all. It's the white supremacist, ideology, the imposition of together.
I want to translate. I want to translate in their favor.
Like there's war, Christianity, but in the Balawu, which is charged from the Middle East, who can come. Nobody that God has ever punished for marrying more than one wife. To see anybody, only people will marry from a wrong tribe, but it will never be because you marry more than one wife. In fact, so David, he told David when David went to mess up and said, if you had wanted more wives, I would have given it to you. So, but the argue about pastor
our pastor don't tell me because pastors you told me only I took your number from the new first timers from
pastor see
Amy only pastor match the brighter future. What I have an issue with, I think sometimes you don't get me. I don't have an issue with a man wanting to have sex. I don't have an issue with a man wanting to do guy, like you guys call it. I have an issue with wanting to stand in certain places of authority.
Hypocrisy,
and is hypocrisy I have an issue with. Why are you on the altar with them local star? No, must you be a pastor? Must you be a pastor? That's what I'm saying. Must you be a pastor? Ask Digital. I did not join certain ministries in church. Do you know why? Especially when I was single, because me, don't Saturday. I don't like it. Open making from Saturdays. On Sunday and ask God for forgiveness, but lay hands on people, knowing that as in pastor said no. Light up. Why don't you come up and talk? Because I do not like that kind of thing. To profession more boy now. But some of them are enjoying the position of being a pastor, the power they get, the money they get. Then you still want to be why are you on the whole time? You finish on this service, I'm a week see head of choir. Head of choir to know she don't give for an office.
When you can live your normal life.
They are human being now.
I'm not saying Jesus is
normal.
I'm not saying they're not human beings. You cannot say that they are human beings. You see, when you are in a position of power, that is when people can call you out.
Because it comes with responsibility.
It comes with responsibilities. Like we cannot say they are human. Just like that, in your office, if you're a manager, for instance, there's certain code of ethics that you're supposed to abide by. Even if you see your subordinates don't need it to be, they will tell you that even if you don't sexually harass that person, don't ask them out because there's already a power tussle. The person might feel compelled, right, to want to say yes. So what if the person says no? Are you sure that you can carry out managing that person and not as in the same way Kokoma feel was any? Those are code of ethics. If you know that you want to be stable to your subordinates, then leave that position. That's why some offices ban office romance. Because only Kemadura here there will not be a conflict of interest. Life is beautiful.
Of course.
It is hard. Don't let us deceive ourselves. There will be
only staff doing what you want for one, the less than major. Specs one actually, but I want you, but so it's actually a fair. You understand? I'm sure you will support this fairness in the arrangement. Oh, spec and the color higher.
It's because Nigeria is a lawless country. I mean, nature, you can't do that in a developed country that has labor laws. One thing below the court, but Nigeria, anything goes.
Anything goes.
Ultimate
Nigeria.
But keep quiet. Later on,
that's why I tell men to have self-discipline. If you don't trust somebody in the first place, right? You understand? Because some women are bitter, right? That's why I will never be for office romance unless one of you will leave. Because some women, they to bat is stop that in my door. Tiawa to that, but one will like it. If you don't like somebody else in that office, he harassed me.
Why is important? Now, why is it important? Say, I can tell you for a fact. I will give my money. It's my notice paying vibe or law. When if we don't want it to be at the parawas, because when my pay once I was parawas commitment to one, you mean they're ready. I like my party law. I only want some love shit. Do you understand? One of the car come up by the money.
So I'm still back to the top calls. I still don't understand why you men stay the toys because replacing. I don't get it.
I don't understand. It's all right, so.
Let the man feel better compare with toys. Why would you feel like? Why would you feel like?
Let me go.
Mr. Wale, well done. Thank you very much. You are a saint. If even those men do not support you, and I'm happy we have someone like this. I'm
I saw like I'm a saint. They play.
Let you in one corner.
Why can't you just accept? Why can't you just accept that we have men like this? And we do.
Chasopa disagree.
It's okay, disagree. Mr. Wale. He's a romantic person and he can't just jump on anybody. So I'm giving you your accolades. I'm right behind you. Mr. Wale, well done. Mr. Wale, well done.
Movie I can do bad of myself, right? The title of that movie, I can do bad all by myself. Me only capacity, right? To say what I may not be proud of, no matter how much yet, but the ones that I'm explaining, for example, say romance money, higher spec of fish, go there and go for everybody. Me only say, for example, òun ṣẹlẹ̀ do you understand? Kí ṣe pé ọ́fíìsì náà mo ráhùn obìnrin yẹn àníyàn tó dẹ̀ mú mi tó ọ̀rẹ́ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ló sọ fún mi pé ṣé mi ò notice kankan ni mo ní mi ò notice ó ní àwọn ò notice pé shape kan náà ni gbogbo àwọn obìnrin yẹn.
You see, that is where our forefather came in.
Why do you have
when they have capacity? You see, that is our forefathers. When Peter was talking earlier. When Miss Digital was talking earlier about our forefathers, that is why they know that you'll be good for their business. I want to say farming and everything. You say they marry more because they need more hands in their business.
Okay.
See,
Why was
like
it
that.
good then? Why is it not good now?
No, hold on. You know the way the man went about it is wrong. That is what is happening now. Now, if he knows you're doing business and you need more, these people are capable of
Oh,
doing
man, no, we'll now.
Yeah, so why don't you just marry them and let them be? You saw Baba, Baba, Ogunde, they were acting with him.
Yes.
And we still have some of them
Just
like that.
Just like Fela, no.
Like Fela, they
Yes,
would
so
marry
now
them
they
and
my
they
sister, I'll correct you there, and I'll correct you very, very well. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They were married. They were not even going to go and tell their wives that I'm going to go and marry another person. They see them, they talk to them, they marry them, and they bring them home. It's still the same thing that is happening in the society we live right now.
No. You know why? Because we have moved ahead. You can't
It's because
take care.
like you see Western world, they didn't see me.
We are. That is. You see, at that time it was acceptable. They can do that. Not presently. Problem right now is that you cannot move, and you see, women continue to move ahead. Quickly, and that is why most. Hold on, sir. Okay, in court, she might lo iPhone see, she might lo top guinea say. You have to continue moving. So you need to look at Kila and Sheti that is not working for us, and that is why we think our Fufui, they are ahead of us. Because they just don't do things that they will look at things and see what are we doing that is wrong. How that's why you see that their law kept changing. Are we doing the same thing? No. We still want to operate what is happening now and relate it to what is happening. They move ahead. And that's why we continue to have that problem. Very difficult for you and your brain to process it.
Getting our point. Our point is, you just admitted the fact that our forefathers were married 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wives then, right? Which was acceptable, right? So why is it not acceptable now? Is it because we are not blending into the Western world that is preaching one wife, one husband?
No, sir. No, hold on. You know why it's not working now?
Okay.
There's a lot of factor to it. At that time when they were doing it, they needed, what did they need them for? They were also working on the farm. They are also selling. Some of them were marketers for this Baba. All right. Yes.
You don't get
now things
that is the only thing they have as business or as a craft. Don't she?
You see that their wives, they are well, wives. Look at the man now. What is doing? Is that the right way to do it? It's not.
Hey, you get got to
Yeah.
You can't draw the parallel between him.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to emphasize on is which is wrong. Why do they
They are consenting. They are so consenting at us now.
That is where women comes in. Ó dẹ̀ lọ padà lọ báyàwó lé. Ó ti kó báyàwó lé báyìí sìn. Torí tó bá kárùn láàrin gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ẹ̀rù kó ti kó bá obìnrin tó wà ní. Until a couple next few years, tabari go bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sí kò feel better.
Auntie me.
Ó dẹ̀ ti kó báyàwó lé.
What we are saying, Mr. Wale, what we are saying right now is, which I totally understand from your point, In that way, insane on she agbere instead of marrying them at home. I agree. But do you know that their wives, some of their wives also know that they are being agbere? Do you know? So that my point is, they have changed. What has changed?
No, because they know
that's not
it's
changed now.
acceptable. Sir, is it because they know they are acceptable? Or maybe that woman doesn't have a choice? Have you thought of that?
Can I respond?
Yes, sir.
In most cases, right, before we started having cases of DNA, right, the general assumption is that ọkùnrin ló ń ṣe bí ní marriage obìnrin ò kì í ṣe.
Exactly.
Right? And that notion traveled very far for very long. It is now that we are getting to see that obìnrin náà ń ṣe bí, maybe not at exactly the same percentage, but we can even argue pé bí tóbìnrin ṣe is much deeper. Mi ò kàn fẹ́ máa ṣe àwọn ọkọ lórí bí. Mo ní ọ̀rẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé Dallas mẹ́rin gẹ̀yìn wa, ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ló gbé fún ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Ó dẹ̀ sọ pé
wọ́n pọ̀. Wọ́n pọ̀
so
ta.
tí mi lọ nílé mi ò fẹ́ digress tí mo lọ nílé. Ẹ má máa always assume pé obìnrin tó wà nílé yẹn is a victim. Some of them, àwọn náà ní boyfriend níta. Tí n bá sọ fún yín, it's also a pandemic right now.
Ṣé it's actually a pandemic? Ṣé ó wá ṣé yẹn I can't just, ṣé ìyàwó tó wà nílé náà mọ̀? So òun náà lè ní boyfriend ta. Kí ló dé tó wá together? When they are all doing their messy.
Ẹ máa láti ju ìnáwó àti ìjọ
Ẹ máa
ìdáyé.
gbójú kúrò ní.
But ayé bóyá ayé ti wà yóò dàrú.
Ayé
Ayé
ti
ti
dàrú
bàjẹ́
gan
lọ́wọ́
ni.
yìí náà.
So ṣé ìbàjẹ́ ẹ̀ náà la máa jókòó sí?
Me, I don't, my sister, I don't
It's all the men on the
accepting
platform.
it. But
Ṣé
it is what
irú
we are
ìbàjẹ́ ẹ̀ náà la máa jókòó sí, or we want to do better? Or
my
we want
sister,
we want
what we
something
are
to do
saying is
better?
we should that doesn't mean that we should not say the reality of what is happening in the society. We on this platform do not support such thing, and we're not encouraging anybody or so whatsoever to go and do such. But that doesn't mean that we should not see what is happening in the society.
We should address it, sir. I just believe we
We're
should address
addressing
it.
it. That's what we're saying right now. Okay, yeah, okay. Like you all said, they are all adults. They are all adults. Simply control one. And you go
No, they
control one.
control, but we continue to
Exactly.
preach the right thing now, isn't it?
We're preaching the right thing that is not acceptable. But this is the society we find ourselves living in right now. And that doesn't mean that we should not talk about it. We know about this stuff.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to
encouraging
address it. We're going to talk about it. Definitely.
Let me mention something that told me in the US I live in the Atlanta area. I got a job in New York. With a guys concession from St. Lucia. Somebody got break, right? One my big goes in tray. Baba Tomo. Some other workers.
Oh,
my rule going. Don't let me lie to you. For a long time, it didn't sit well with me. But that is the reality of their life. People will join you. People are passing road with here. Do you understand? I mean, not encourage anybody to talk more when you go. Sure. That is the reality of life. So, a lot of things. My mother says only the will of God is really done on earth. Much less the will of man. So, Auntie, don't sorrow. The will of God in Yoruba, no? The will of God, is really done. Is really done on earth. Go and settle your mind. Get on fast. Even in the church alone, the will of God is really done. Really. So, you see, so there was a pair of fair. A man like to grow like you. But a man like you are like
and my boy, you could. And my boy, you could. Let them come out to TV. As long as the family are forced to you for a roof of it, and their right will not fit. Or the two. More kicking that I didn't see and go on to our bank. Guess what? I was reading I was listening to a podcast day for yesterday on Saturday, and these girls were like 24, 25 years old, and they went out, they went for a drink, and they met a guy of
47 or 47 or 45 years old, and guy just called them in, and they came in. They had Oba Lataro, Titi Dale, and they were all on Kini that's Olorofa, all crew, all law, all to Padadi, all to I'm getting married next week. You're getting married. And so, every should be part of one shape to one with it. But wow. But things are happening in this world. But we are not saying that it is right. But it is what it is right now. What it is right now. Especially, I told my Bill say abroad. To my boy, you told me all my brothers, they're trying to, they're losing morals. They're losing our morals completely.
So what do we do?
When you argue when you come on Nigeria was easy. You argue when you want to argue, better.
They're losing their morals. Money.
So how did we get there? How did we get here?
It's just because everybody wants to get.
Ṣé kí n ṣàlàyé fún ibà ṣe débì? Ọlọ́run ò bá ti bá wa pa èṣù láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ọ̀gbọ́n wa fi wá
Èṣù
lẹ̀
kan ọmọ èṣù sir. Point of correction, ọmọ èṣù. Satan ní kẹ́ máa fi Bible yẹn. Satan. Èṣù la ọmọ èṣù náà.
Mo understand Satan ní. Ṣé rí Satan tọ́lọ́run fílẹ̀ fún tó fílẹ̀ sáyé pẹ̀lú wa yẹn? Òun ló kó bá wa. Ọlọ́run bá ti bá wa pa láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ibi ò bá ti di ìjọba àwọn ọ̀pá àjọ wa ń bí pẹ̀lú iṣu yẹn ìjọba máa lọ ni o. Máa kẹ́ni bọ́dọ̀ tó ń lọ.
Kí lè sọ yìí? In Nigeria tá à ń sọ yìí, wọ́n máa mú ìyàwó wọn, wọ́n máa gbọ́kùnrin wálé fún ìyàwó wọn tó máa bá ìyàwó wọn sùn. Á sanwó fọ́kùnrin yẹn, á lè tún padà wá. Things have gone wrong. Wow. If you are listening to podcasts on YouTube, you'll be listening to so many stories on YouTube.
LIB, tí rí situation tó jẹ́ pé àwọn married men bíi mẹ́rin ọmọ á pè ìwọ tó jẹ́ single wọn ní kò lọ gbalé àwọn fẹ́ fún ẹ lówó kò lọ gbalé.
Ilé yẹn tí mo yẹ pé ṣé kúrò kan fún yín, there's a place in Elegushi. There's a place in Elegushi where these big boys go there. Light of ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi? Where these big boys go there. Do you know what they do? You can get like about 7 guys, 7 girls. Be on sorry platform. Waiting for one my balance. Diabetic, ele ma tètè come, ele tètè come. Boy,
oríṣiríṣi géèmù ló wà.
Boy tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n á ti sọ pé kì í fà ìgbé. Àti ẹ má gbó.
Oríṣiríṣi géèmù ló wà.
Ọjọ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní ìlú táwa yìí láti gbé lọ sí Nàìjíríà.
Èèyàn kan ní Tinubu kan sá.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ ilé fún yín.
Oh my God.
There's a thing. Hold on, Mr. Wale, Auntie, there's a video that I have that swimming pool party, love song or song or something or mobile. On get the name you go on the mobile, everybody didn't balance.
What is that? It's not it's a private swimming pool, innit? It's not some they do the
party
and put it out.
Party.
Sherry, this is what I have learned to do. And she told me, tell about what privileged at Imobi Aye there were the truth of the world you should be thankful. Because a lot of people go through this world or go through life, they are naive. No idea what is going on. And it does not change the fact that you can be a victim because you don't know. So as much of the strangeness of you understand, I file it in your mind, I file it away as one of the things of the reality of the life in which you live. It does not mean you join them. So by the way, but bottom line is, be aware of what's going on around you. You will appreciate life more. And when you see
extremes, and you see the middle that seems to be normal and is imperfect, you will appreciate the middle that is normal or imperfect more when you know what happens on the extreme. But if I'm not going to the extreme, I must hold on to the middle and be beating what is abnormal about the middle. Then you must push it down. Ọmọ yunifásitì ló wọ́n yàyàkuyà jù lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Àwọn ọmọ tí yà ò jẹ́ nílé débi ò pa. Tí èmi ò pa rárá. Wọ́n fẹ́ explore ni. Àná kò fẹ́ explore náà, àwọn yẹn kò fẹ́ explore. Wọ́n bá yín wá nǹkan méjì. Wọ́n ṣáájú. Igbó tábítẹ́lẹ̀ tó bá ń smoke, ọmọ hide smoke. Nísìn gbàgbà don smoke. Gbàgbà ni o. Kí ni tó bú Donald Trump pẹ̀lú sí ìtọ́jú bí kí ni FT5. Jẹ́ mo bó ṣe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní UK, bó ṣe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní ẹgbẹ́ gbogbo àgbáyé, dìsí. Ẹni tó máa ń mú ní bàrà wò, oríṣiríṣi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ọlọ́run kan ṣàánú wa ni, which I don't say that it is good o, but you know, this is where we find ourselves in the society we live right now. It's very, very poor, it's very, very sad. You know, that even the new generation coming up now and they don't even care about what's going on. They don't even care anymore. Only God will help us. Only God that can help us. Loving preach. Still yet, people are still just, and I believe one thing about Nigerians is just about poverty that's actually still make everybody wants to wear, everybody wants to dress, everyone wants to, you know, have the best things, you know, look good.
I think that is what is driving the Nigerian one. It's the poverty. But you don't share a lot, bro, because she has some poverty, no.
I think poverty, no. Poverty, no. Imagine, Emma Sobe sex toy ó dájú ọkùnrin kan náà lọ, ó ṣe addiction to the. Oh, I say to that for gbogbo wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó lúgbọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ sọ yẹn, ẹ má jẹ́ kó lúgbọ́ o.
Ṣé kò bẹ́tà kí obìnrin instead of one man sùn kiri kó ra tó àyè oríṣiríṣi.
I am not saying that it's not good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's not good. I even prefer them to use it, but they say too much of something sometimes go too far.
I agree.
Yeah,
only staff income.
Hold on. What is too much? Calculate too much. What is too much?
I don't know. Too much of it is too much.
I don't think it's too much. I don't think so. Yeah.
Too much is
just keep it. Yeah.
So what do you know? Okay, what the LIB is saying?
If 5 times a day, Emma, but if 5 times a week is okay for this person, who are you to tell the person that it's too much?
It's too much.
No, what LIB is saying Emma, please, what LIB is saying is, if you're married, don't be engrossed with the toys. If you forget yourself with it, and keep using the toys, I think you're going to have problem with your marriage. That's what he's trying to say.
You might not have problem in your marriage, but your man is not as capable as before due to medical situation.
My sister, now you are just saying what is too much, and I'll give it to you what is too much. Now that you're using Dido for 5 times a week, Abby, and now you're seeing a man, a strong, healthy man. Do you think that strong, healthy man can go with you for 5 times a week?
Life is beautiful. There is no normal human being. Let me not say that. There's no normal woman that sees a healthy man that is willing to do regularly.
And will not leave the whatever.
Will not leave the toy, okay? So
he will leave the toy.
Are you people for real?
Emma, this lady came up. There was this lady that came up not quite long. She said her husband one go dey bed ó ní tọ́yì òun sìn ó tẹ̀ta máa ṣe tán gan ó lóun yóò máa tún lò tọ́yì yẹn.
Àwọn náà did the same person lọ́ba sọ́gbọ́n obìnrin kan ẹ̀ máa
kọ́mọ́ díẹ̀ o ìyàwó ìgbà kárí ṣe sí rí.
You might tell him, sir, she might have a high libido and Okweli might get a level.
Exactly. So you're not using the
but it's better, sir. Is she not better? She's keeping that man.
Nobody is saying it's no better. I'm not disputing that better there. I'm not disputing that.
Because you're saying it's too much. And you're tired, the machine better. Just calm down.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Life is beautiful. It is even very imperative for you not to do, for you in particular, not to do more than 2 times a week. Because no, it's not safe for you, okay? So let's
Why is it not safe for me?
I'm not going to
Life is beautiful.
life is beautiful. I'm on inside joking.
I'm a military.
What deserve at times a week?
Life is beautiful. Let me tell you something here. As long as a woman, she tells you, if you notice that her libido is higher, why on earth are you going to quench it and say you will not be there and then she will not use her toy? You cannot tell her not to use that toy. If she wants to use it every day, no.
I don't mind. Any mind. Because even so, tí o máa ń gbé obìnrin débẹ̀ tó wá bẹ̀ sí máa lo toy tó wá jẹ́ pé kò wá fẹ́ lo toy yẹn mọ́ wọ́n á tún wá ọkọ̀ the main thing tó máa gbé òun débẹ̀. Do you understand me? Because at one level, at one point in time, just you need to say, oh, I need to stop. It's becoming an addict. An addict is when you've done something too much now. It's not becoming a part of you. I can't live it.
Trying to say life is beautiful. What is too much? What is too much for you might not be too much for me. If I like sugar,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So if you understand that, then you cannot argue that it's too much to use it 5 times a week. Okay? Off the top of your head, you can take 5 times.
Life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. Sherry, I can come in this way.
Oh yeah.
Money a lot of our to get pastor you know. They are addicted to advising people to do the right thing. Also for color, you invite me to go to member church also. Really me three, they advise anybody. Advise group go in my house of one church. With the man living good with two like it doing. Rapupo. Badi ara ije. Mo marry ije ma fi wisdom gbe. Do you understand? We all have the right to lay our beds and lie on it the way we need it. We all have that right. So, somebody advising somebody that if you get used to this, it takes your desire, or do you understand? The pull towards a man, it takes it away, and you're sharing it with a toy.
This man that was speaking about, I don't know if we were on the platform today, a woman came here and said her husband has not touched her for how many months? That is beautiful. Can you explain how many months, right? So now, if that woman has not been touched, do you not want, and she doesn't want to step out, you don't want her to use her sex toy 5 times a week? Are you serious? Do you know what it is not to have?
Can I answer your question? Can I answer that question? I have advised the staff before. Tonko Busala, my own personal staff. Tonko Busala for the group of people combined. For I mean, most of who better go to radio. Juko ma fún ọkùnrin lówó mọ́tò, ó máa fún lówó tó fi ń gẹrun, ó máa rún ẹ mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́, kò tiẹ̀ ní direction tó lọ láyé ẹ̀. Do you understand? There are circumstances where kò sí bí ọkùnrin ṣe fẹ́ yọ, or the circumstances where àmọ́ àwọn tó kó wọn ṣiṣẹ́, àmọ́ àwọn tí there's just this situation in their marriage that maybe the two of them want to share one new, there's a turn off. It's okay to absolutely go out there and go and find something else to satisfy yourself, absolutely. But the circumstance where you have a man, right? The man is doing his best for whatever reason, because you've gone to eat the apple of toy, but you want to more, and you kept, possible it's okay. Also continue. But I agree with there's legitimate situations where it's just sensible for a woman to go after that. Absolutely. No judgment at all.
Thank you, Mr. Wale. You see, that's why I said I'll follow you to an extent, you know. But ẹyẹ jaya pé ọkùnrin.
Madam, I'm a Jaya. This is my dad. I will be not in guilt, not in guilt,
Shine your eye, level, shine your eye.
My God, what the guy will not get on like me, she, you know. Oh, I got sorry.
Shine your eye. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that your woman or you met a woman and she's using a kiniko, so she would have no.
Okay,
don't wrap your head around it. Okay, process it.
There's a question for everybody. Please explain how men deal when the other gender are dealing with their menopause, a period of no excess. And you've been able to go through question. Mommy.
Well, I don't know how to answer that question, but I think you have to talk to the doctor. She has to speak to a doctor. In fact, both of you have to speak to the doctor, and then you have to talk to a therapist because they do have
when the husband has not done, when the woman is for over 5 years plus, what should
doesn't mean they've not had sex. It just means that
it's not that it's not regular. It's not that they've not had. It's not not regular.
Yeah. So
and then and a lot of time. Yeah, and a lot of time we see the awareness is just coming now. The awareness is out now. Before, they don't know what is wrong with them. They keep the don't understand them. But now, okay, they are going through processing. All right, because she's not used to be that. All right, so we are all getting to that level now, which is very good, sir. All right. Nísìnyí ọwọ́ ọkùnrin tí ń fóbìnrin sùúrù pé okay she's going to she needs to do this.
But I need 5 times a week with the sex toy, abi.
Life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful. We're talking about older people now. We're talking of people maybe in fact I want to want late 30s, not it's only menopause thing, according to research. So obìnrin tó ń ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tó ń ṣe kínní kókó dọ̀rí pé kò mọ̀ pé pre-menopause kò ń fún ẹ̀ ọ̀nà understanding body. But now that the awareness is out, it has really helped a lot of families. It's helped a lot of couples. They now understand it. Now, okay, partner B is going through something. I will be okay, this is what I'm going through. What is the solution? And because there is a solution, we are getting better results. Okay? So this thing is I won't say that you're complaining is no result. And now that the awareness is out, now I'm going through it's working not to calculate it. If you're also a doctor, you have read about it, you've listened to it, people have talked about it. Now you are both aware. You as Oko Otimokwe, she's going through this. Okay. Tabasimo Pafeshikini, Etima Kadoe, Etima Sophia, Amashele you. Hold on, sir. How will be getting agreement okay, agreement. You know that kind of thing. Solutions you want. And because we are now aware of what is going on. All right.
So, mommy, is that from your own personal experience or from just a general experience?
That's a general experience.
Okay. Now let us put it into a perspective of what if that woman does not allow that man to touch him for 2 years, according to the topic from a question in FRP, no, you be question. If we have to kill a finger to man and not see. So
hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Okay. You see, before Koto di 1 year, Have they sat down to talk? If they are in a good relationship, so they will put on she she wants to joke, wants to analyze it. Because anybody can come up. Anybody can come up and say, with Kini Kokoko Ajupe for 2 years, they allow me to touch her. Kill bad debe. You see, when people bring questions, they just throw it out and they will not. We need to know background check. You call them out based on the command. No. We're not going to accept that because there's something that have driven you there. 2 years. You know what it means? That's 2 years. One only for 6 months, Papa. That speaks volume. Talk less of 2 years. She your medical problem we want to know. As couple, how can you be in a relationship with someone in your house? Every way.
Okay, so my sister, it's not just a story, it's a true life experience.
So what happened for 2 years at the John Bay? Kilo Shelley. Gangan. They might be together for 2 years. Nibarayisu. To get tele. Kema in the kitchen near my sitting room.
Sister Light Up, they're fine. She's a fine woman.
Madam Light Up. Madam Light Up, can I respond to it? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I understand your impassioned, trying to investigate what is happening. But let us submit again. The true life is stranger than fiction. A woman, if I'm sorry, each of the children will be the last one or something. For at the time to buy me sorrow, right? Now, I sounded the way you sounded, right? Why are you, the bottom line is, it just happens. There are different reasons. Some is psychological, some is physiological, some is
circumstantial. That's what I'm saying.
Kò sẹ́nibọ̀dì tí ò gbé EFCC ọlọ́pàá civil defence gbé DSS gbé tí wọ́n bá ti ń drop ẹ̀ ní ìtútù gbé oníkóbẹ̀rẹ̀ sí perform kí ni. Do you understand? So some are circumstantial, some they just grow apart. Wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí irun síra wọn wọ́n bá di roommate right? So there are different reasons why those things happen. And much as we want to say sometimes, you guys should sit down and talk about it, in many cases, there is no solution to it. Just like there are many diseases that people that people contract, right? And there are no cures for it. Maybe you manage it and live as long as the disease will permit you to live. But it's the reality of life. Some people are living through it. They call them sexless marriages. You don't want to know.
There is no way to resolve such issues. They don't want to resolve it.
Just like disease, there are some to say resolve. There are some to say resolve.
There's still solutions, sir. That's where I'm coming from. I believe that
for every case.
Sir, if you believe me, when there's a problem, we should always look for solution. I'm that kind of person. Like tissue.
So let me give you one. Let me give you one. I want to hear your solution to this one. Brother and sister, very born again people. They stand on law. Wọ́n fẹ́ ra wọn. AA ni ọkọ. AS ni ìyàwó. Àkọ́bí wọn. Ó sì lọ́jọ́ kan. Wọ́n gbé lọ sí hospital. Eventually wọ́n láti ṣe test. Wọ́n ti ṣe wọ́n BSS ní ọmọ. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ mi? It became a crisis. Family péjọ. She confessed. Yomi ló ń bá sùn. Tani. There happens to be someone close to the family, right? That is very close to them. All right. Ọkọ àti àwọn kílẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe. Ọkọ sọ pé this is not fiction. It's a fiction. Ọkọ sọ pé òun máa dáríjì ìyàwó gbogbo àwọn fámìlì ẹ̀ àwọn ó ní sisters méjì ṣé ni gbogbo wọn wà ní ìrora pátákùrọ̀ wọn sọ pé òun á forgive. The rest of the whole family, the wife apologized. The whole family we had to respect the choice of the man. Oh, I forgive. Oh, no, I forgive. All right. Oh, there. I want sorrow. Oh, there, the only thing she láti sọ ni pé kí ó tó di pé wọ́n ní gbogbo kí issue yẹn tó come up tó ń bá gbé súnmọ́ ìyàwó sometimes òun lè bẹ̀bẹ̀ fọ́sẹ̀ mẹ́ta kó tó jẹ́ kó ń ṣe ẹ̀kan but going forward o you understand gbogbo family ẹ̀ sọ pé wọ́n tó lè ní ṣe adó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ báyìí kó máa làálẹ̀ ní ògùn síkọ̀ tó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ẹ o you understand ọkùnrin báyìí ó ṣọ̀wọ́ and the family left and they returned to their life in Lagos. One of the conditions ọkùnrin yẹn fílẹ̀ ni pé ọ̀gbẹ́ni tó bá sùn tó fún ní oyún the first ọmọ yẹn òun fẹ́ rí ilé àwọn ọmọ pé oṣù mẹ́ta lọ bọ̀bọ́ ènìyàn wà mọ́ lẹ́yìn oṣù mẹ́ta the guy started coming again so the marriage broke down not like the arrangement broke down right but they stayed living under the same roof because of the children. I see another one tí wọ́n ti test and I can tell you till today ọ̀rẹ́ mi ò lè ti test ọmọ kejì but what I'm trying to say is they lived together under the same roof. They were still legally married to each other for 2 years. You are now saying there's a way. So it was sexless for 2 years. Absolutely. You are now going to tell me that there is a solution to that. What solution is that?
There is solution, sir.
No, so the reason
Very easy, sir.
The reason why it was sexless was not necessarily because nobody wanted to have sex. It was not because,
and it's not because the woman has a premenopause.
Yes, because one person stepped out and
someone couldn't tolerate it. That's why I said we can't listen to.
Yes, based on the story, the reason why she stepped out is because the guy was thinking that sex is not food for her. What is important to somebody might not be important to another person, and then there has to be a middle ground. This is what we talk about on this regularly. That what you think is not important, she finds it very important. Why can't you meet her with it? She's not asking for money. She's not asking for what do you call it, the most expensive bag.
You are not understanding. You are not getting it.
Okay, let me say. Let me come in, sir. All right.
And the reason is because
now,
you can project that. I don't even have any issues, right? But
yeah, that's
right?
true.
It's a way to work it out. Marriage will become sexless.
Okay,
marriage. Until marry, they continue after to marry. That's the situation.
Yeah, and the man couldn't.
Understand?
Yeah, and the man couldn't cope with that. And that's why he's not doing it with her.
Yeah. So for the
marriage, sir,
that is what I keep telling you, that the real world is stranger than fiction. Understand the world to be that way. Even by to suffering me personally, I felt so able to be saying, I don't want to
can you imagine? All of our parawan joko, you come at the danger of fire.
Paolo, ṣe ń jẹun. Only one set here, one on set two.
Can you imagine? 2 enemies in the house.
Tó bá busy sometimes, tó ń ráyè sọ̀bẹ̀. Tó bá rí ẹran náà ọbẹ̀ ọ̀tẹ̀ tí máa ń jíjẹ gan. What I'm just trying to tell you is the world is stranger than fiction. Eventually, they parted ways and everybody moved on.
That's the solution. That's the solution right there.
Did you even do the test for the second child? That is so afraid of the result that he's just not willing to do it.
Oh, I feel for him. But you got more results. In fact, to me, I Me only 6 months, because a mathematical calculated waste of time, waste of resources. What is the net? Tiba 6 months. Tiba 6 months, 1 year. Moncada or winning or no. Because I'm going to look for a way out immediately because it's not safe for people.
Let me explain. Let me respond to that again. Motimango from Olu, from a lot of other people, Life is Beautiful, and House of Joy. A lot of people talking about people should move on, they should step out. It's not as easy as these suggestions come out, right? Moving on, I know one guy in Abuja here. Obaya West on Friday. We travel to Seku. Go para Dilojo Monday. I want to go Bomo, South America. The guys, the mental affect of Bolo at a point when I take later on. Then after a few years, boy started telling this guy, you need to move on. You just have to understand.
I do understand.
You just have to understand.
But we have a solution.
If that guy gets to that point where he's about to commit to another one,
yeah.
Do you understand? And
yeah.
He's
stuck with
and
what
he's done
happened
it for years. Yeah.
Before
so,
they got to
that
that
level. Therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. Even
even all this moving on, the trauma may make it impossible for you able to move on the way the world is suggesting you should.
So, you know why people are saying you should move on? Because there are all the solutions to it. And that's why people are going to be saying you can move on, because there's possibility for, if you are the good person there, they don't want you to suffer what you're suffering. And what people will be preaching to you is move on. That's how you can help that person. And the best thing is get a solution. Okay, when me tell you love therapy. You know me, need to so that you go in, so that that person can move. You are trying to help that. It is hard. Oh, Tony, let me tell you, when things happen to people, you don't see anything beyond that. You are so engrossed with that situation. But the best way, as already family, colleagues, what we can do is to tell them you can move on, you can do it. And we coming out to say, okay, let me assist you. She buy suggestion only, so that that person will not stuck. Go to hammer. And that's why we have a society, and I thank God for TikTok, because a lot of people in Koto for a long time, they're just wallowing in it, in so much pain. They can come out and talk them, and people will bring out different scenarios and suggestions, and then the person can find solution from that. And that is why we are all here today. Let me tell you, even as we are talking now, we have people on this platform. You know, we are learning. Awareness is coming now. People are talking. We are not but about the classroom and learn. We are learning every day. Why are we learning? Because we want to be a better person. And that is why when there's an issue, when there's a problem, there is always solution. A million more solution here. But can you delay me? Tayati any problem. Solution. But if Tayo Baso Alabo more solution to Mamua. And that's why, see, we are community, we are family when we come to a platform like this. Because see your one situation. Hold on. Can the person do this? Can the person do that? Suggestion. And you know, it might not be the best, it might not be, but something that can at least lift you up to the next step, lift you up to a better person. And that's why we are here. We must always, in every situation, as human beings, if we can put it that there's a solution somewhere, Kamama will pay, that is the end. Honestly, it's going to help a lot of people. It's going to help. Don't think that because of what you're going through now, you can't come out of it. You can come out of it. And I'm an advocate of peace and, you know, living life, okay? Because the situation, see it as situation. most of the time, the me a problem because that's what we look at it everything. Money problem. Hey, and it's affecting everybody around you. But if you can just look at it, there will be solution. All right. And most of the people say, yeah, TikTok would da. You want to repeat TikTok would da. To me, TikTok is da. Learn. I've learned so much on this TikTok. So you be done because you see, Timba because lots of people might me, but money, I can be on my own for a long time, a deep thinker. And a lot of people, when you see me normally, you will think, you will know that I'm very conservative. All right. But my thing, why don't leave me for 2 months? People don't know that side of me. The side of me they know is, that's what they know. But you see, TikTok have brought this idea that you can be in your house and still be in the midst of everybody. You still partying, all right? And that's why I love TikTok. We human beings start thinking there's problem. We need to start processing it. Solution one. Western world better because it's a problem, but it won't believe me. There's a solution somewhere. Won't call anybody. Let me tell you, Toba need the pé kéèyàn kan ṣe nǹkan kan tí olúwo ẹ̀ bá wà ní abúlé mi nílùú mi ní Nàìjíríà òyìnbó máa lọ gbé nìyẹn wá o wọ́n máa lọ gbé nìyẹn wá kó ṣe solution yẹn rí i pé wọ́n ṣe lọ́ harvest wà ní bíi kòkó bíi mango àwọn ní tó bá tún yá wọn tún ti bọ́dà wọn ṣe ti rí ariwo tí olórí pupa yín ń dá nílùú yín náà yẹn ń sìn ó kàn ń ṣe gbogbo rẹ̀ tó bá tún yá sí wọn tún ní àwọn ṣí bọ́dà wọn. She and control because they will always never to pé I want in lack in I won't need solution or my solution. What is the solution? What's the solution? And that is how we should start thinking, processing things now. Level that one seeing here. A lot of us, Africa, we have now seen this thing. Maybe it's said I was saying, no, kini solution. And this will help us individually, like family and society. And that is what I'm preaching. Please, there is solution for every situation. Don't no situation. When you know it's not working, what is the next step? If you need to take your time to do you have to go back to the drawing board. CV again. Then you start applying. Apply for it to qualify for one, to apply for it to one lower, one to apply for it to one higher. Why? Because half bread is better than none. Billion is offering run. It's going up. And you need to eat as well. You need to put food on your table. So the best thing to machine what is the next thing? I only manage a leave before I get the normal one. All that solution has to start coming in. Don't think when the situation life will always life us. Because any to baton, I take it so to tough for you. See any cocoa. To 100%. Olówó gan wá tálíkà wo lówó. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan táwọn ará European ṣe kò ń ṣàwọn nìkan lónìí. Later we find out that ẹni tó tiẹ̀ mú solution wá ìwò dúdú ni. We just discovering that ẹni tó tiẹ̀ mú solution wá èèyàn báyìí ni. So why can't we do that as well?
I think the issue is that the solution might not be what that person wants, like that particular solution. It might not be applicable to certain people. Like somebody is in the comment section and say, "Hi, Nikki." Somebody in the comment section is asking about how men deal with mood and intimacy change that goes on for years in a marriage. So I think the first issue for that is because you have not, you see, there's always a foundational problem. Men think that when they do something now, for anywhere, they're going to get away with it. There's a day to pay. There's a day to pay. And that is why it is important that don't go into a relationship that you are not going to be 100% into or you're not happy in. Do you understand? Because when you go in and say, don't worry, let's just manage ourselves, you will not be able to manage at one point in time. And that person might not be willing, because you have not given your 100% from the beginning, that person might not be willing to sacrifice any longer. The person now is, the situation has been flipped the other way. So the person now is managing you because now you need the person more than they need you. Do you understand? So I think that the first issue is to understand each other. To actually go into relationships that you do love each other. Does it change? Yes, it changes over time. But the mood and the intimacy, men don't like to speak. And then when they speak, it's too late. You don't want to understand the body of your woman at the beginning. I don't want to deal with your period. I don't want to deal with your menopause issue. I don't want to deal with your pain and whatever mood swings that you go through during your period. Okay, no problem. When they get older, you will now have to deal with it because you will have to identify and understand that now this is real life. This is real life. Because people experience depression during menopause. People experience manic issues during menopause. They experience voracious eating during menopause. So if you don't know all these things, you're going to be like, whoa, Birini, let me go and get somebody else outside. Instead of you to stay in the situation with the wife or the partner, you go. That's why I said sometimes the solution might not be applicable, right? So the solution, this person might think the solution is just another woman. So when you get another woman, what's the point? The cycle is just continue again. Because when that other woman hits menopause, if the man is still alive, right, you still experience something.
IYABO anyway, no go here or land back.
Man, this is why I subscribe to the fact that before you marry, now I know they were not doing this all along, but now the people that are getting married recently, before you marry, churches and mosques, they need to do counseling for folks. They need to make it compulsory to go for psychological counseling. I'm not talking about your church counseling. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about psychologists. They need to go professionals, not someone that went to training in the church. No. Someone that went to school for 4 years and has a PhD or whatever for this psychology. So you can understand what women go through, what a man goes through, how a man thinks, how their past, how their trauma affects their decision making, how their trauma affects their behavior changes. Okay, and then also they need to go and watch. They need to do make it compulsory for them to watch birth videos. They also need to make it compulsory for them to go through a very deep biology class. When I say deep biology class, I'm not talking about anatomy and physiology. I'm not talking about that serious. I'm talking about the basic things that affect women and men biologically, the body changes that can affect a marriage. I think they need to do that. They need to make it compulsory. Because when you understand what changes happen in the human body during pregnancy, before pregnancy, during the waiting period of those that are not able to get pregnant immediately, the impact of it on their mind, and the translation of it in the stability of a home. If you are able, if they set them through these classes, I think when they now hit the reality of it, whichever one applies to them as they go along in the marriage, then it will be easier. We'll have less divorces. We'll have less issues. Because love is not enough. No, love is not enough. No. Imagine the story that Mr. Wale told us. After the man said he's going to forgive his wife, the in-laws are saying no, they are not going to forgive the wife.
Branch.
Who are you?
Sorry, tell me.
It's not your battle to fight.
Why we can now wait?
That's another part we have to also break
Yeah,
down.
me away from
The in-laws.
That is why when someone said, I've not been with my partner for 2 years and we're living together. So I said, we must know a background check. How can you be from, we are loving, then 2 years? What happened? What is the process of you staying there for 2 years? There
yes,
must be a reason. You just
If-
don't, you can't just stay
if
without
Adam
be
will
living
have-
together for there
You
must
said they're going.
trigger. And that's why I was saying that
When they
there's
can.
more to it. Some are medical reasons. There are
When they
other
can,
things,
no.
situation of life. Maybe the person
What
is
you are going for?
going through some other thing,
Oh,
or
that's
when you're
one.
multi-shaking
There
there must be a reason. There is always a reason
So
for
when
a
we
reaction.
the car, I'm not okay.
Tí o bá sí
So
reason,
we
you
have
will
a car
react.
you
will not react. There must
So
be a
you the
reason
book
why the other person is reacting and something is not working.
Like we born
So you can't just come and say, me and my Kiniko, we are living together, but for 3 years, for 5 years, we are not doing it. Every time, loving your feeling, sitting room, bathroom, kitchen, exercise, over the 2 years, there must be something. And that's why
Obviously, but can I jump in? There's where the frequency of it, there's a part where the frequency of it actually comes down. There is rarely any marriage that the frequency of it at the beginning of your marriage is sustained 20 years later. I mean, there are no practical reasons.
Absolutely. But not abstaining for 2 years. 2 years is a long time, sir.
I totally understand now, yeah. But you see, most marriages start reasonably well in the terms of there are good intentions starting out. But you see, if you look at the dynamics of marriage itself, a lot of people man for it along the way. There are a lot of things that come up along the way. For example, starts changing the woman. I keep telling a lot of people that the woman you marry when you're single is going to be totally different from the woman that has now had a child or two. Do you understand? A young girl that was, say, for example, a small girl, in a corporate organization, when she got married to you, is not going to be the same woman when she has become an executive in that same organization. So there are dynamics of life, right, that marriages go through that destabilizes what the intentions and all the whatever was in the beginning. For example, she was all lovely and all that. Lowry, it's wild. Getting married. She came into money for the first time, and she changed. Don't go more because she has never met a rich self ever before in her life. Now she's now rich. But you change forget about your husband. And the man has to contend with that. Is that I can patch it up or come pack it up? So during the dynamics of marriage as a joint, there are just many things that changes that thing. It is the dreams and thus maybe the hope for every single person that okay, the same way it was sweet at the beginning, it gets sweet at the beginning. In some cases, Okorilo come into money. And out of 100 men, Agiti that remains the same with a lot of money flowing. Very difficult.
I agree with you.
A lot of people talk about it. It is except your job or you are not close to people that came into money. It is incredibly difficult. So those things come up in these situations where, so how do you now deal with it? So when you hear some cases where a woman is aware that the man is got other women in the picture and she chose to stay in because of the children or because she has invested so much she doesn't want to lose and stuff like that, people start criticizing them. But the reality of the matter is the man she married at the beginning is different from the man she's dealing with right now. Or when it's low one thing. She is the senator now, the minister now, the dynamics are way different. And she just has to make her, for example, there's the governor, I won't mention his name, governor of the the richest state in southwest Nigeria.
Okay, you don't have to mention names.
He's said to have a one baby mama, in Abuja. And, there was a wedding recently and the baby mama was, riding the wife and the rest of that one. The dynamics are different now. If we pay governor ni side chick, Kosento Mama Larimogi now. Where are you going to find the governor that is faithful to one woman, absolutely doesn't touch it? It's difficult though. It's very difficult. And if the woman says, oh, fresh my love, do you know how many people are going to call and say that? Joko, oh, even if you're going to leave, they'll go run. Government together now. Sort yourself out very well. Do you understand? So along the path of that, along that journey, things come up that changes the dynamics. And it brings the marriage into a new season that sometimes the centers cannot hold. Sometimes you can see past it all. But we can't just be naive to just assume all through the life of the marriage, things are just going to run on the rails and just be the same. Those are wishful thinking that pastors like to do. Even pastors themselves. Pastor Barry,
Mr. Wale, I'm going to argue that. I'm sorry, I'm eating ice. Sorry. So I'm going to say that I do not agree with you that the marriage cannot run smoothly. I'm not saying that there will not be life happenings, right? As long as those life happenings is not something that you went to bring into the house. I cannot excuse that. I'm sorry, we're not perfect though, but I cannot comprehend it. I offer like you took your time. You went to cheat on your spouse. 1, 2, you went to get into financial issues like gambling, borrowing money. I can never understand how people borrow money and they don't pay back. It irks me. It's a problem. It's a problem for me. I can never accept it. Okay, now. Okay. Like you become friends with people that are always in trouble. Do you get what I'm saying? Always in trouble. Based on that, those things I just mentioned now, those are issues that I will say you cost yourself, right? And they can break a marriage. Because if the other person has to be your savior every time, you went to cause the trouble, but all of us have to bear the brunt of it. The marriage is not going to work. Do you understand? So those particular issues. But if just life happens, like maybe he lost a job or she lost a job, and then it takes time to get another job like that or better than that. Like Light Up said, if you lose a job, you can either go up or go down. Do you get it? But don't stay idle. Because some men will say, no, I'm better than that. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. Okay. If you don't have money, where is it? You're not going to be able to initiate. The juices are not going to flow. Do you understand? So little things like that affect the longevity of a marriage, right? But I think the most common things that affect marriages is the cheating part. Then you also have the other issue of maybe I would say hygiene. Hygiene should not cause a problem to break a marriage, except if it's like dilapidating, like it's really bad, But maybe bad temperament. What else can I say? Yeah, things like that will affect the longevity of a marriage. But if you get angry easily or you get irritated easily, those things can be managed. When I say manage, I'm not saying accepted. I'm saying manage, like you can work on those things, but not the one that you will go out or you will hit your spouse. Those things cannot be. A lot of people cannot accept it now. If you accept it for a while, you will not take it forever. Yeah, finances are a problem, sir.
I can assure you that one spouse eating the other sometimes, it can be managed.
Explain, could you? How?
Told me.
Your line is breaking, Mr. Wale.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you better now.
Hello?
Yeah, we
Alright.
can hear you now.
So one guy that told me that Kani Masoni Yoba, if Kani Ibatiti a woman phone, the only problem is marriage only.
No, Mr. Wale. This brick is very choppy.
So
It's breaking a lot, Mr. Wale. Going you. Hello? Okay, I think his network is bad. He'll come back. Domestic violence is a big deal. Domestic violence is a big deal because it doesn't just, I don't know, it's terrible. Bolaji said she doesn't advise my people. She listens. Bolaji, you want to come up and tell us your story about when you were in a coma?
Coma, okay.
Yes. She was in a coma. Yeah, she said she was in a coma. When she got out of her coma, the husband divorced her. That's what she said.
The moderator can bring her up. Or him.
Sister Dupe, do you want to bring, or Mrs. Young, do you want to bring Bolaji up? I don't know if Miss Young is still awake. Sister Dupe is awake. Sister Dupe should be awake. Bolaji, do you want to come up? Mr. Wale, are you back?
Yeah. Is it better right now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Is it better right now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So this gentleman told me that if the slap to man I get from his wife from time to time is the only problem. She married Johnny. The marriage would have survived. And I said, guy, what other here where my bite here from time to time now? When he broke down all the issues, let me give you one big one. One of it was she got pregnant with the second child, and their first child had some kind of problems that they were in one place. They went to treat that child, and while they were there, they got into a fight. Literally another country. They got into a fight, and she got so angry and said she can acknowledge now that it was an error getting married to him. It was an error having a child with him. That she will not continue to have children with him, and she's going to go and abort that child, the second one. And she went and aborted. Christian, they go to the church of one man to manage right? You know, right? Now, that's just another aspect of the problem. The other aspect is extreme jealousy. This guy used to work at the airport. You know, at the BBM Blackberry days. Saw some chat between him.
Bolaji, Sister Dupe.
You know, saw some other chat between this guy and one other work colleague. This guy worked at the airport, went to the airport and went to strip that girl naked. You know, so what I'm just trying to say is a lot of people. I've heard in a few men that cope with wives that have anger issues. No man you on that from time to time, and they are still married. No more that than then obìnrin ló pọ̀ jù. From time to time, woman yóò gbà tí ìgbàjú wọ́n dẹ̀ rún mọ́. In the comment section, only man and for people outside, but they go through it. The extreme one here, to my friend Lupa, to my that's the one you quickly hear about, and they run away. And of course, some women that I love their own, I just feel that if you're touching me, I thought it's not even, I'm not going to tolerate it. Do you understand? But don't let us try to make it look like some of these things happen day to day. Day to day. You know, and some choose to cope with it, some don't, and they move forward. I heard one just yesterday. Don't buy away,
Copy with that. Copy with that.
Well. If a pastor is in the comment section, they will tell you. You hear these things a lot.
Wow.
What the room?
Sister Dupe, if you are awake, can you bring
I don't think she's awake.
Things are crazy.
Okay, let me tell I think Miss Young. Mrs. Young, let me call Mrs. Young. I think she's awake, but she's at work. I don't she should be at work. I don't want to call her. I'll call Sister Dupe. Yeah, you guys should go ahead. Let me call Sister Dupe.
Okay. Mr. Wale Masorenlo.
So what I'm just trying to say is, I'm not saying that's a design I want anybody to follow. I've got daughters. I don't want them to get slapped by anybody. But that this thing happens and people in many cases cope with it. You know, it's a fact. So, you know, there was a case that I got involved in, you know, some kind of younger people that I was close to, that I heard the case. I've never heard that kind of thing before. The guy gets, from them they're very violent, and Yorùbá ló máa dá kí n sọ. Ó nà ìyàwó ẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ gé jẹ. Ó gé ìyàwó ẹ̀ jẹ, ọkùnrin. Ó gé jẹ lẹ́yìn ọkùnrin. I told the guy, I said, you should go and tie a metal around your neck.
Mr. Wale, yeti lágbára.
Ó gé ìyàwó ẹ̀ jẹ lẹ́yìn.
Dracula.
It was a case that I got involved in personally.
Oh my goodness.
I've stepped back from like counseling people in church and the rest of that one. So I hear less of this madness now. But crazy things happen. You will be surprised when you hear it.
Okay. Welcome. Because light up cannot be.
Any story before, it will have a mobile.
It's a fellow coma. Well, also a lossy coma or something.
Oh, yeah, that was almost 5 years.
Oh, my goodness. How are you now? Let's first ask how you doing now.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's 5 years now.
Oh, it's 5 years now. Oh, so you have full recovery already?
Oh, yeah. I work
in
the
hospital.
So,
that is good. Yeah, all right.
I was
continue.
pregnant. Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hi, dear Coach. Good morning.
Emma, okay, because I wasn't able to come up, so I can't type it, okay? So
Yeah.
I'll say, this is not me. I have a set of peer groups, yeah? I'm talking 6-7 people, okay?
Okay.
Lovey-dovey, lovely family. They've done everything. There's no issues. No issues at all, okay? They hit the menopausal period. And I'm talking out of these 6-7 peer groups, yeah? 3 of them are millionaires. What I'm saying, so money is not the problem. Wives are CEOs. 2 of them wives were CEOs of companies. When she went into menopausal, she resigned. I don't want anymore. I don't want to work. Then she's now started something, which is they've started now. I don't want to take it from 2 weeks ago. The wife now started changing the house around. I want to break this part of a wall. They did the medical. I read biochemistry for my first degree, so I understand how hormones works with women, hormonal stuff. I did my research on breast milk. I did a lot of stuff, so I understand. I've read menopausal books for the last 5 years. They're completely off. I have friends. They're telling me, my bro, even when we had the medical, maybe once a year, I said I have friends. They're not fighting. They're lovey-dovey in the house. The woman is just completely off. She can't explain her body. The woman has not even said the medical is affecting my body. I don't want to do anymore. As in, don't give me medical anymore. How do men deal with that? How?
You have to. I think you have to stay through with it because this
How?
might be the cross to bear. This might be the cross to bear. This, you know, when you're taking your bath and they say in sickness and in health, this might be the sickness. Do you get? I think it's a cross to bear because if we can't explain it, if they're not on estrogen therapy, they're not, and then the men have not gone to go do like therapy and understanding how to cope.
They don't know that. They don't know that. The women just said after a while, it's affecting me. I don't want to use this. Just like pills. You know, some ladies don't like to use the pill, which is birth control pills. They just say, I don't want it. I'd rather have. Exactly. So they've gone through all that. Even the medical people are saying we can't help you anymore.
They're not harming the marriage. She wants to get something redone. Let her do that.
Okay, fine. That's not a problem.
I'm
I'm talking about the tatata side. I'm talking about the tatata side. How can a man leave
for 2 years, 3 years, you touch your wife once. It doesn't make sense. No. There's a way to it. You see,
this is where therapy comes in.
Yeah,
That's what-
therapy.
that's what I'm saying. I don't pray it happens to anybody here. I don't pray it happens to anybody here. It's inexplainable. So this, I'm talking about with pairs. I'm talking 6, 7 people, and it's just
I
common amongst them.
I understand what you're saying, the echoes, but you see, the thing is, these types of things, it's not going to be a regular person that you're going to see. You're going to see a sex therapist, because the sex therapist understands
Sex therapist.
the degeneration of the body and how there are 80-year-olds that still have sex. We have Timothy Shishe, Amapale Kundeni, Tobatimba, Muni, 70-something year old, I
know, but you know there's drops in the women's life and the men's life where they go down, they don't want it anymore, and then it comes up again at a particular period. That's why you have. That's why you have zaddies all over Nigeria, because the drive is still there. It's not as if they're doing that for 2 hours. They're just enjoying.
It's the same reason why a woman will give birth and don't want to see the child.
Yeah.
Something that happens to that.
Yes.
That we cannot medically explain.
Exactly. So
Exactly. That's what I was saying. So when I was saying, someone was saying on the message was saying, "Oh, it's just hearsay." It's not hearsay. Go and research. Go and read books.
That's not hearsay at all. We see it all the time. So no. Diego, just give us some minutes. Miss Bolaji wants to tell us the story.
That's fine. I'm done. I just wanted to explain that side of it. I'm good.
Thank you, Mr.
That's it. Bless.
Emma, go ahead. Emma,
SISIDUPE
Emma,
can you please
tell them to tap power tap.
yes. Where is my
Yeah,
tap?
you guys power tap. Let's power tap to 150 before Miss Bolaji goes ahead. Sorry. Let's power tap to 150, please. Thank you. 150. 150. Give us. Let's get to 150 and then Miss Bolaji can speak. Take a power tap. Data power tap.
SISIDUPE, let me greet you. Good morning. This is my first time of coming up to you on your platform.
Oh, nice one. Good morning.
Ekaroma.
Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. Mo fi ilẹ̀ tẹ ìròjọ́ lánàá ni mo sùn. Mo fi fóònù ilẹ̀ tó ń ṣáàjì mo ti jí láàárọ̀ mo ní àwọn èèyàn yìí wá bí ó.
Mrs. Yogi, she will be.
But she's not talking, so I don't know where she is exactly.
Okay, I'll let you so.
Yeah, I don't know whether she's at work or what. Yeah.
She will start the echoes to sorrow.
Yeah, he just spoke now. So we're talking about menopause and how do men cope when a woman
is that what you're talking about now?
No, we're talking about different things that break, that like how the effect of not having affects men, right? And then we're talking about menopause, and then Miss Bolaji said she has a story of how she was in a coma, and when she came out, she divorced her husband. So that's the person I wanted to speak.
All right. I'll continue.
Okay, Miss Bolaji, go ahead.
All right, ma. Thank you. SISIDUPE, good morning. Thank you. Yes. No, my story is I just woke up to this live stream and I was like, so my one for me was I had COVID and I was pregnant like 34 weeks. So they wanna, and you know how it is here, they rather save the adults than the child. So, but because I had experience during COVID working in ICU, and I noticed that the mother that they kept the child died with the child, but the mother that they did emergency C-section for, the mother and the child, they were alive. So I said, okay, remove my child and do whatever else you want to do. So I was induced. So they did the C-section, removed the baby at 34 weeks, and I was induced. So normally, I'm not a doctor. So normally they induce you for like three days, then to give you
dead and stuff like that. But I didn't come back. So they started telling everybody that start clearing your, she might not. She's not. She doesn't have the strength to come back. But God grace, I stayed in coma for like 12 to 18 days.
Goodness.
Yeah, so recovery was another thing. You're already paralyzed and you have to learn everything over again. But God being God. And before that, I just lost my mom. So all those traumas, stress,
Wow.
and I couldn't go to Nigeria to bury her because I was heavily pregnant. So I. Actually, now people, there is nothing. Are you going to stand in front of the judge and say,
Sad news, guys. Germany is going to war. Yes. So if you're a man and you live in and they accede to it.
Fi ẹni báwo? Àjòsí ṣó máa ṣí èrè. Báwo ló ṣe máa jẹ́ tiẹ̀ wọ́n ló dánmọ́ òun lóyún ni? Àbí wèrè ń ṣe wèrè orí ẹ̀? Àbẹ́jẹ̀ máa gbọ́ wèrè bọ̀bọ̀ ìṣá. Ó dẹ̀ ní tó bá jẹ́ tiẹ̀ bí ti báwo, sórí ẹ̀ burú ni. Tó bá jẹ́ tọmọ ẹ ló máa sọ, tó ọmọ ẹ ti kú, àmọ́ kó ti kú. Bọ̀tẹ̀wọ́ ni tó bá jẹ́ tiẹ̀. Ṣé wèrè ò máa ṣe wèrè orí ẹ̀? Ṣáà máa bá mi dì ẹ́ jọ́sí. Olóòbùkú, olè ọ̀fọ̀n, alọ́kọ́ lóhun